This is our first test podcast. We're gonna try to do our best behavior on talking, not talking in top of each other. So here it goes. Just present the people.
The forum.
Jose Rivas, my friend David Hunsberger, Guillermo Rivas, and Raul Rivas, and Alonso Meza. We're here to trying to get this podcast together to see how it goes. It's gonna be a crazy night. We're gonna have two teams playing at once. We're gonna have the Jets and the Dolphins playing. Yes, we're from Miami, and we are Dolphin fans.
Oh, yeah.
Some of us don't want to admit it, but yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're gonna watch
it's been rough.
Fight Night together too at the same time. It's gonna be crazy. So bear with us if you hear screaming and talking to each other. Please, we ask for some patience.
A very raw trial run.
Yes, very raw trial run.
I think, however,
No, it's not live. It's
They're
just
recording. Oh, okay.
but
however it goes, it's gonna be just perfect.
yes.
We're still gonna have fun. We're gonna drink some beers and talk shit.
We have cervezas.
Yeah.
So how about this? How about this post? Drummers' right legs have the nicest calves. We can talk about that.
We're not drumming all the time.
Yeah, isn't that the bass drum?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it would
I mean,
depend
just, that's something that people notice.
What if they're doing a double bass drum?
What's that?
What if they're doing a double bass drum?
Or what if they're left-handed?
Right.
How would you know if you
both?
can't see their calves behind the drum?
That means that somebody is really like walking around following drummers after they get off the stage and like really checking out their
Okay.
calves.
Now,
What if
They
they're
probably
wearing
take-
pants? Then you can't see their calves.
They probably
Then
take
this person is like really like just.
they
I
probably
don't
take an
know.
entire
They're
strip
going-
ruler.
I would say it's
Measure
definitely
the-
kind of a weird
measure
post.
A little bit,
the
yeah.
calves that way, like a tater.
Maybe this guy's a tailor. Maybe he like fits people.
Maybe.
Okay, so as you can see, we're talking about a bunch of random shit.
Yes, that's just how it's gonna go. It's
Yeah.
gonna go. We're gonna talk about random stuff. We're pretty
We
much
talk about Seinfeld.
yes. If you want to talk, but nobody else is gonna talk about that.
Yeah. where the drum thing came from, I don't know.
Yeah.
Where did the Seinfeld thing come from?
Because the
It's a show about
Seinfeld
anything,
show about just like
nothing.
nothing. Yeah.
Oh, not nothing. No, okay,
I mean,
yeah, I get it.
So yeah, it's
And that Superman's in every episode.
yeah. We could talk about Superman in every episode too. Like just like
You didn't know about that?
Yeah, no, I did hear about that.
There's some
I
kind of
was never a big
reference.
Seinfeld fan, so I never really watched it.
Seinfeld was
So
awesome.
who won in the UFC fight?
Alain Juben. I don't even know who that is.
Yes, I
So
don't
these are all
know.
the prelims. So actually, no, it's not prelim.
Oh look, Nick Diaz is there.
Nick Diaz is there.
Yeah, he is.
He's still suspended.
At least they're allowed.
No, I thought his suspension was over.
Is he?
Yeah, they cut it short.
Yeah, but when is he allowed to fight again?
I think he has a fight coming up soon. They've been talking about setting him up with a fight.
Do you know
with,
when he might fight?
No. And today we have a great fight. Paige Van Zandt, which is an animal.
Yeah, she's a beast.
That lady.
Have you guys seen the
hot?
other girl?
Huh?
She
Have
is
you guys
hot.
seen the other girl?
Actually, that's what
okay.
she's known for in the UFC.
Not
is
only
being
that,
very
she's hot and
So-
she knows how to fight.
Yeah, she's a good
She's
fighter.
a gem.
She a bad bitch.
she's a gem.
Yes, you don't find that.
Like Gem is my name.
There she
You
is
don't
right
find
there.
that kind of girl.
There she
You
is
don't
right
find
there.
is that
kind
who
of
it is,
girl
blonde?
like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the other girl is. I don't know what the other girl's name is, but they call her the karate hottie.
She's pretty cute. I
Yeah,
gotta say, she's pretty
karate-
cute
The
too.
karate hottie.
The karate hottie.
So what is it? Is it?
I saw a clip of the weigh-in.
Now we're like
Oh, yeah,
reading cuteness in the UFC.
Okay, I just gotta say one
They're
thing.
finding
is
the
that
rare flowers.
again, we do talk about random shit, but mainly we're just a bunch of old nerds. We talk about like.
Yeah,
We are. It's true. We like video games. We like freaking movies. We like comic books. We like fucking cartoons. We all grew up in the '80s. In the '90s. All the pop culture shit that's coming back nowadays. That's what we grew up with.
Let me just say, you probably didn't have to say that we're old, since Raul already brought up Seinfeld. Everybody
well,
watching probably already
Everybody
knows.
figured that shit out already.
Yeah, they already kind of.
Seinfeld's not that old.
Really?
How long?
Why don't you look up the date that it stopped
Yeah,
being a
stopped
series
running.
when it stopped running? Go ahead, look up that date.
Google it, man.
Well, since you challenged me,
I am challenging you. And tell me it's not old after you see that date.
All right, so
old,
hang on
but I
a
mean, it's
second.
not like
Hang
it
on,
doesn't
let's see.
mean
Wait. Matt Moore.
knowing
third and
Seinfeld
10,
doesn't mean that it's old. That
And
you're
Matt Moore
old.
goes 3 and
Yes, it
out.
does. At this point,
No,
it
it
does.
wasn't 3 and out. They got it.
It wasn't 3 and out.
So what year did Seinfeld stop? Cancel. What year was the final episode of Seinfeld? You know?
What year?
Like
Yeah.
2002.
I don't think it was in the 2000s. Was it? I thought it ended in the 90s.
I'm gonna say
I'm lost
early
here because
2000s.
I never watched
if I
Seinfeld
watched
either. man.
Seinfeld probably was just 2 or 5 episodes in total. And
I never watched Seinfeld.
I liked Seinfeld.
I liked Seinfeld. I thought it was pretty funny.
Okay, so you and Dave are the only ones that ever watched Seinfeld. So
Yes, it was
I
hilarious,
wasn't
dude.
very into Seinfeld.
Yeah, I never really got
Really
into it.
wasn't that.
Fruity
Well,
enough for me. I watched.
You're
Friends.
you're probably the youngest
But what?
person here too.
I said fruity.
Guillermo.
So 1998.
About 1 year.
1998.
So you
told
could-
years ago, man.
Told you.
Yeah. So you could be
We're
like
old as fuck.
you could be like a 25-year-old
No.
like that watched Seinfeld.
No.
But you know what is
I don't think
interesting now these days? I was reading a paper. There's a bunch of kids between the ages of like, I don't remember exactly what I think it was 16 to like 20 something, 25 or mid 20s. You know, they like
Don't mind.
Friends. They're very into Friends, and the Friends
The
show.
show.
That's
Yeah, the
just-
show.
Friends is
That's
shit.
fucking Guillermo's show. Right?
Yes.
Friends is
But you understand this, when these kids were the age, they were like very little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't even
Like
aware.
toddlers,
They
toddlers
weren't
being
even
kids.
aware of that show. But you know what happens? Because I was reading about it, and they say because
mind me.
most of these kids, they want that kind of life. What is friends that they don't have? They don't have cell phones. They always get together in a bar, in a coffee shop or whatever, and they always talk about. So they don't have those kind of relationships anymore.
But the problem is that they're
They
so
never
freaking-
did. Friends was kind of ridiculous.
Well, but regardless, I mean, the point that he's making is that the point that he's making is that these kids watch this show because they want that. They could easily just put it on their fucking phone and have that. Why not?
But it's culture. Like
Culture has
we
changed.
have immersed in technology so
Yeah.
much that is very
It sucks, man.
difficult now. Like
It really is.
they're growing up in a different environment that we grew up. I was just looking at a picture of on black and white of like I don't know exactly the year, but it was in black and white, and how did they play outside, and they were like in this all metal stuff, doing like gymnastics and
Right.
getting in top of the metal,
The monkey bars and
the
all that
monkey
shit,
bars
yeah.
and all this stuff, and like you can't do that these
Yeah.
days because everything is protection and safety. They had lowered the monkey bars and
Yeah. Everything's
everything's-
foam padded
Yes.
and rubberized and.
But how do we know that they really want that they really care to have that? I mean, maybe this is just a show that they watch. So you talk about Friends.
Because in the paper they were saying that a bunch of kids they see that and they're like, oh, how great they have it.
Yeah.
Yes, and then that's what it was. It's like how good, different they like, and they look at it like a more contact with each other, and even in friendship with one another. You understand how they used to be.
Okay, so I understand
Yeah.
people being into that. I mean, when I was a kid, there were young people. When I was a little kid, there were people older than me that were into shows like Leave It to Beaver and the Dick Van Dyke Show and stuff like that. And it's because on TV they portrayed this life that. Look at the Brady Bunch. Look at how famous the Brady Bunch was. It's completely fictional.
Yeah.
There's no real life like that, but people crave that. And when young people now see Friends, they see that and they're like, "Oh, what amazing life they had." That's what the '90s were like. No, we lived during the '90s.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that at all. Come on.
That's yeah.
It was a show, and it was entertaining.
It was somebody's
but
interpretation.
it's
of it.
not. It's not real.
Yeah, it's not real.
It was never like that. And then,
No, but
I mean,
look,
I think
look at their
we
apartment. They lived in New York in an apartment. And look at the apartment
Yeah,
that
that thing
they
was
had. I'm like,
humongous.
are you crazy? There's no way. If
was like
all
a
of them
penthouse.
lived in the same apartment,
Lived
they
in the
still wouldn't have
penthouse.
been able to afford
Yeah.
It will be the real world.
it. Yeah,
Something
exactly.
was gigantic by New York
like
standards.
maybe MTV is funding them.
Yeah. Talking about living in $1 million.
Yeah, because I mean, here's the thing that I notice about like every generation is every generation complains about the next generation, and the previous generation. Like we have things. Every generation has things the way they have it.
Like now,
And-
everybody's complaining about the millennials.
Right, and really all it is just like this human tendency to judge because like we want to be better. It's always about being better. Like I'm better than you, and I'm better than you, and so like we get mad at our adults because they talk to us about what we should be doing.
Or
And
how
then-
good it used to be back in the day.
Or how good it used to be back in the day. Oh, in my day this. And then we end up saying the same exact shit.
It's
And
the
we
same-
say it to the next generation, and the next generation's looking at us
yeah,
like,
that's the way it always is. It's the same
I
with
don't-
music.
so it never-
I don't
it-
think so. I don't think so. I have to disagree with that point. I have to say that I think our generation in particular thinks we have it worse than our parents did, and we had it worse than these kids that are coming up now. I think a lot of people in our generation are like that. Where our parents did have it better
I'm not
than us.
necessarily talking about like
The 80s?
like our situation, like basically the way that we are, the way that we do things, the things that we like, the way, and what we do, what we value. It's those things are always changing, and every generation, just like every culture throughout the world, it doesn't even matter whether it's generation or not. You can be in the same generation, but you're in this culture, and there's a tendency to think. For most of us to think that our culture is better than another culture, and that's just human
no,
I
nature.
think you're talking
And
about
the
from the
same thing
standpoint
goes-
of like
The same thing goes
art,
for
music, movies, like the culture part of it,
Exactly.
or the
Like we
pop
look
culture part.
like, oh, our movies, back then, this and that, and it's like I just think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious when people see like movies now and that are like, especially like this is funny with music and movies. Like we have this nostalgia of like how things were when we were growing up, and like I watch some of the new movies, like Episode 1, 2, and 3 of Star Wars, for example. It's the same thing. Like the way those movies are made, it's like the same shit, and I'm like, they're not horrible because they're worse than the other ones. They're horrible because they were all horrible and they were all great.
Wait, hang on a minute.
They were all great in their way.
Time out. Okay, wait up.
Fan base we
Now you lost me.
They were they all had like if you watch them now.
Take it down,
Keep it
just
down.
a notch. Just a notch.
Can you?
Yeah, keep it down a little.
I'm like right here, right here.
You want to switch seats with me?
I can hear you just fine.
All right. So look, I don't mean like they're horrible. Like I didn't enjoy them, but like they're really just all just as cheesy as the rest of them.
I don't know, man. I definitely. I mean, maybe again, I'm thinking old school, but I definitely prefer the original trilogy, let's say, versus the new trilogy.
I will disagree with you, Raul. Okay, so what the original movies had is you had Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and Princess Leia. And those actors, they all had a connection to each other. The original trilogy, it's not just about Star Wars. It's about these interactions with these people, and it was great because of that. Han Solo is awesome. His character, Harrison Ford playing Han Solo, is amazing. In the prequels, Episode 1, 2, and 3, you didn't have that. What you had was a focus on the visuals of it. George Lucas was like, oh, computer technology is out.
It's so much better.
What happened is the story suffered for it, and he didn't get. They had great actors in there, but you know what? You watch Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're like, he's very stiff, and you're like, you don't care. You don't care about the characters because there's no connection. In the original movies, you care about the characters. They're very human, and in the prequels, they're not.
Another thing
And that's where I would disagree.
Another thing that I would disagree with Raul is as far as the prequels versus the sequels, or sorry, the original trilogy versus the new trilogy is that the new trilogy got too political. Like they're talking about the separatists and the Republic and this and that. I'm like, and the Trade Federation.
I actually thought that was kind of
and-
interesting.
I don't think that's any different though, because you had the Empire and the Rebels.
Yeah, but
in the
it just
original.
got too much into the politics of it, is what I mean. Where the original trilogy was an adventure. It was about a farm boy who wanted to get out of the planet, do something more. Where the new trilogy was just like, okay, well, there's an embargo and there's this and the Trade Federation and.
But that's kind of my point.
Too political.
That's kind of my point. Is like anytime, like you see this a lot with bands, right? Like the bands that we grew up with, like they put out a new album, and with some exceptions, there's gonna be people who are either gonna be like, it's the same shit that they always do, or this is not really them. It's like one or the other. It's like you can't have it both ways.
Of
Like you
course
can't
not.
win no matter what you do, as long as like it's like you live it long enough to become the villain. You know, like
Well, talking about music, I find a lot of bands become parodies of
You either
themselves.
like it or you don't, man.
And
yeah.
well,
But you can't like
there's trappings. There's trappings. So you can sit there and be like, you're a musician or an artist or whatever, and be like, okay, we did this great thing and it was successful. And some people are like, this is successful. I'm making a whole lot of money. We're going to keep doing the same thing.
right.
And they keep making money because they have these fans that expect the same thing. And then you have the bands who are like, I need to be create I need to do
Yeah,
something
I need to
new. I don't
something
want to do the
else.
same
Yeah.
thing over again. And it doesn't matter to me whether I make money or not.
But that's the whole thing. Take like Guns N' Roses. One of my favorite Guns N' Roses albums was Chinese Democracy. The thing is, they came out with that, and people were like, "This is not Guns N' Roses." And it's like, what you want to just hear the same
but then you
crap
gotta-
over
I
and
don't-
over and over again?
So
Like I don't. I'd rather have them be creative and do
I
something
don't
new.
think people saying this is not Guns N' Roses was completely about the music. It was because Chinese Democracy it came out and it was Axl Rose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was
That's
Axl
my
Rose.
point. That was what I
Now
was
people
gonna
were
say,
angry
too.
about that
You can
because
tell the music just because of the way it
It
sounded.
should have been.
It's different.
It's
But then it
different.
should have been called Axl Rose.
Look, you got a
Yeah,
band,
it should have been
but then you get a band like
Should have been a brand
Radiohead.
new band.
Where you get a band like Radiohead, and they put out
like SCP and Velvet Revolver or something like that.
they put out which
But
album am I
that's two
thinking
different
about?
bands.
That's what
I
I'm saying.
think you take a band like Radiohead, and I think it was Kid A, where they went to like there was one album where it's like just like over the top electronic, you know, like and compared to the other albums, it's different. It's like so you could say the same thing about a band like that, but nobody like goes, oh, Radiohead. This is not really Radiohead.
I bet there's people that do say that.
Well, I mean, not to the extent of like.
Well, so here's the thing about what you're saying is when Guns N' Roses split up, they were probably one of the biggest bands in the world.
Yeah.
Not just America, in the entire world.
Yeah,
they were one
sure.
of the biggest bands. And people were very bitter about, you know, what they perceived happened.
Yeah, but it's coming up.
Nobody really knows what happens except
Sure.
Axl Rose and the other guys in the band. They're the only ones that know the complete truth. But you know what? People pick sides the way they always do. And they're a huge band. People were like, oh, it's not Slash playing with Axl and Duff. And they were like, this is not Guns N' Roses. It could have been the greatest album ever. And people would still say that because they
Come on,
they
man.
had this connection to these people.
Oh,
I'm personally one of those people who are like, don't make idols of these people. You don't know them
Yeah,
personally.
I mean,
you
really-
don't know anything what's going on. Just enjoy the music.
Exactly.
Enjoy what they are doing.
Yeah, but again, back to the point is that, I mean, at least to me, for one thing, it was a very, very long time before Chinese Democracy came out after, was it Use Your Illusion was their last album?
I think between that and Chinese Democracy was probably.
Or was it the Spaghetti Incident?
I think it was the Spaghetti Incident.
Either way, okay, so their last album came out as the original Guns N' Roses. It was Axl Rose slash Duff.
we have a complete, we're gonna need somebody like looking up data all the time. We're gonna need,
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I'm not
sure.
connected
I'll bring-
to the internet.
I'll bring my laptop
You
next
have
time.
no laptop.
Sure, brought my laptop.
No, I'll give you the Wi-Fi if anything. Anyhow, the point is that there was also so much
we're
build-up.
saying, I'm sorry. We're saying some facts and we don't know if it's true.
Yeah,
So we're like,
kind of like I'm sure I've stuck my foot in my mouth a couple of times.
Well, my point is, regardless of what the name of the fucking album
these people
was,
are idiots.
First episode.
anyway,
Come on, guys.
regardless of the fact, regardless of whether it was Spaghetti Incident or fucking Use Your Illusion, whatever, it doesn't matter what album it was. The last album that Guns N' Roses made, the original Guns N' Roses, there was such a long gap between that album and the Chinese Democracy. There was so much build up and so much hype and so much waiting for it. And then again, you know, you have the split of the original band where then it's just Axl Rose with freaking Buckethead and some other random dudes.
And Buckethead is sick.
Maybe so, maybe so.
Just like
but
KFC.
I mean, again,
Just
to
like
me,
KFC.
it just wasn't
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses anymore.
Isn't that what
You know
it
what I
was?
mean?
That was
So,
At one point, yeah.
Well, I mean,
But what do you say that's something like what you were talking about? Like there's a trap. There's like with the hype. That's any kind of venture of any field. When you're gonna try to make money, you really gotta you gotta sell yourself.
the problem was, I get what Jose's saying, but the problem with that is that there are plenty of bands that have done that before, where it's been one person who kept the name of the band and kept creating music.
Mhm.
It's because Guns N' Roses was so big, and they all were personalities. Anybody can recognize Slash, and a lot of other bands aren't like that. But look at other bands like
It was 15 years between the spaghetti incident and Chinese democracy.
Right.
All right, so 15 years. Okay, now
1993 and
So
2000.
15 years and get like you said, people get attached to these personalities. Like
Okay.
15 years, get over it.
So wait, but then let's
But let's just say if it's 15 years, you want to get back to it.
Okay,
Kinda
so
wanna get
let's
back
talk
to it.
about. Let's say I'm not a huge fan of theirs, but for instance, Pink Floyd. For instance, Pink Floyd is a huge band, but Roger Waters doesn't go out as Pink Floyd. He goes out as Roger Waters.
Roger Waters.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So,
that could be
doesn't
illegal.
necessarily.
Huh?
That could be illegal.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's not like
Oh shit! Hang on, sorry. Hang on. Oh, he's still
He
going.
dropped him. So we're watching
Faber's,
the UFC.
Uriah Faber's fighting Josh Pickett.
Yep. Faber's last fight.
Faber's
Still
last
win it.
fight, and he's about to win it by rear naked choke. He's got the hooks in. He lost the arm. He still has the hooks in.
Yeah.
And there's still a minute and a half left to go, so he's still got time to either ground and pound or get the choke in.
So for the people who are watching this, just to let you know, is we are
Oh, shit.
nerds in UFC. We're fans of it.
Oh
We
my
like
god.
My goodness.
We appreciate
Uriah
it.
is
and
dropping
we watch it.
bombs.
Yeah. I think Uriah is gonna win.
Oh yeah, he's got it locked in. He's still got a minute to work.
Wow.
They're gonna stop. They're gonna have to stop.
They're
it
gonna
at
have to
some
stop
point.
it. Or
Oh, here comes the choke.
He's
Oh,
going for the choke.
working on the choke. Oh, he got out of it. Oh, he's complete mount, full mount.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, oh.
Dropping some elbows.
in case anyone hasn't noticed,
Holy shit.
Mo is not quite into UFC as
Yeah.
some of
He's
the,
watching
some of
the
the rest
Dolphins,
of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Guillermo is more into football.
He's got the body lock. He's got the body lock going too.
You do you fantasy too, no?
I think he might survive.
Yeah, I got Jarvis Landry playing tonight.
20 seconds left in the first round.
How does that become a thing?
What?
How did what became
Football.
Fantasy
fantasy
football?
football?
What do you mean?
Dude, that shit started
How did it start?
like in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken.
In the 70s?
Wow. But it has,
Google it.
Just like with anything, he started in a fucking garage.
What
But
happened?
it finally caught up
Damn.
and watch him win.
What
how
happened?
you-
Pickett survived the round.
No?
Probably late 90s, because I got one of my buddies that's been playing for.
Let's see. How long has Guillermo
Since
been
like-
yelling at the TV?
Whatever.
Just for everybody's information, everybody's introduction. Guillermo is the fantasy football nerd.
Yes.
How many fantasy leagues do you run now, Mo?
5.
5 fantasy
Five.
football
And I want to
leagues.
do more.
Really?
And do you make any money out of it?
More opportunity to win big. But yeah, you get money out of it.
Yeah, and he's shortening his lifespan too.
He's gonna have an aneurysm one of these days.
Really? You
No.
got worked up watching the game?
He got so pissed off.
I haven't watched him watch the game in a long time.
In an app, like a company that does app, and it has they do one for fantasy, and they put all the stats and everything, all the stuff. And like, you will be good at it.
Anybody
If you
wanna
really
know?
have all that knowledge.
I ain't got time for that.
You good? Yeah.
I'd rather just play it. That's enough.
Sure,
for
I'll have
me.
another beer.
Mo, you want another beer?
Yeah.
Stella Dark. Who wants what?
I'll take the Stella again.
I'll take the Stella again.
Dude, that was nasty.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Free advertising here. Like
Yeah.
they won't take advantage of it now because it won't last long. Start sponsoring us.
maybe they'll start sponsoring us.
Yeah.
Stella Artois.
I love how Jose
I want-
always says something like a second after somebody else has always already said it.
I'm a little behind.
I think they're gonna do that every time.
Here's to you. Did you say you want Dark?
Oscura.
Stella.
Oh, I thought that was Mo's.
Yeah,
Well,
so
just take
so
it.
we're gonna have some kinks to work out, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
This is part of the authenticity of it, though.
So yeah, and people complaining about it. I don't know how to do
You know what? But people love to complain, so we'll give them something to complain about.
No, people won't complain right away. It's when you're successful that's when people start complaining.
Yeah, so I do fantasy. I got 5 teams, and I also do a picks league. So the picks league, you pick teams every weekend, and then you try to, obviously, at the end of the season, have as many wins right as you can. You have as many picks right as you can. So I'm actually first place in that league right now. I'm there.
Wow.
I'm only up by 1 game though. So got 3 weeks to go.
So what do you think? The Dolphins are gonna win this game or not?
I picked them this game. They're not looking so good.
They're
right
looking like ass right now.
If their defense can keep it up, I think they can win.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
They got to score though, man. They're down 7 still, right?
You gotta run the ball. Run it.
Well,
What's the fact checker?
who is this? Okay, so what do you guys? Here, I have a question for you guys. What do you do when somebody sends you a friend request and you have no idea who that person is?
You delete it.
You delete it.
No, but
You
it
look at
says
their-
who's your friend in common.
You look at the
Yeah, but I still don't know the person.
You creep.
Like, what if you still don't know the
Of
person?
course.
You creep them.
You creep him?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Probably,
What do I do?
Find out where they live.
Okay.
So if I have
Find out where we-
But you know my theory? My theory is that the girl, because it's a girl, I just saw it, probably was looking through the pictures of the guy in common
Uh-huh.
and saw you and liked you and they're like,
What's
stop you
up?
by mistake because this has happened to a
Is
lot of
he
people and it
single?
happened to me by mistake. You put friend requests like scrolling down and like, oh shit, I put friend requests, I had to
Yeah,
cancel that.
can't you recall the request?
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
cancel
you
it.
can cancel it, but sometimes the notice already goes through.
No, okay, so what I'll do usually is I'll look at it and I'll be like, and I'll let it sit there for a while.
Yeah.
Like and see if maybe like down the road
Let
I
it
can
brew.
I look back at and like maybe I
who it might be.
remember who it is, or maybe like I recognize through like other friends' posts. I'll look at like what they when you see the friend request, you can look at more of their profile, so you kind of like get an idea like, okay, who's this person? But what if after doing all that, you're still kind of like,
It could be somebody from your past. I've
because
had
it could
that
be somebody that I want to be friends with, right?
happen. Right. I've had that happen before where somebody's friend requested me. I'm like, who is that? And I'm looking at them and I like have no idea.
Yeah,
And it'd
Diablo
be somebody that I knew like when I was a kid. Like in
Uh-huh.
elementary school to like friend request me, and they found me
I don't
through
even
like
remember
schools and
people
stuff, and
from
I'm like, who is that? And
I only get
eventually,
friend requests for like the those porn sites that they friend requests for, like the girl that appear very sexy.
I think that has something to do with you more than it has to do with
What
them.
is the one?
how, how come that happens to you so often?
More
That
than
has to do with what you're liking on your feed.
Exactly.
That's
That's how that
I don't get
works.
those. How do you guys get those?
That's how that
I don't
works.
get
Like what the?
those. You outed yourself, man. It's too late.
Whatever.
Oh shit, you're right.
That's what happens. It's like,
So okay, so
it's not
what
like
do
I
you do?
go through it.
What do you?
I mean,
You
when
just delete it right away?
I mean, I can't say I would delete it right away. What I usually do is I look at it, and I might like tap on the person's profile and see if I can make out who it might be.
Right.
Obviously, if I figure it out, then I'll be like, okay, then maybe. But at the same time, I personally don't friend everybody I get. I mean, I'm a little bit. I don't know if I would say I'm a little bit pickier necessarily, but
Mhm.
I don't put just everybody that I get on my feed or as a friend. So, like as a for instance, you know, some of the guys that we train with, the guys that train Krav Maga, you know, a couple of them send me friend requests, but the only times I really see them is there. And yeah, they're cool
Right.
dudes, but you know,
So
I'm
what he's
kinda
saying
like,
is he's a Facebook snob.
so
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
if you guys that way, that's fine.
Well, I mean, so I used to have this mentality of like, if somebody's gonna be my Facebook friend, it should be an actual friend, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like, even those people, like, I mean, eventually, sometimes you like just stop really communicating much. So I mean, like, they're there as your Facebook friend. What are we looking at?
Okay, you can keep talking. I'm
Or
talking.
sometimes
that
you
real?
meet somebody like
could be.
like I mean a girl and they
Well,
just
'cause I
friend
heard about
request
that.
you and
Yeah.
and I've never
I mean, I
seen
don't wanna
her
be-
again. That's it. That's the only day that I saw.
Okay,
I don't think that's happened to you.
Okay, so now,
Right, but I still follow you on Facebook. I don't want to stalk you, but I
Okay,
see
so
your thing.
Right.
now my question is, at what point is it, I guess, good manners to unfriend somebody?
You could friend anybody that you want. If somebody gets offended to it, it's like, what the hell? I mean, it's just Facebook.
What?
Yeah,
Well,
some people do take it to heart, though.
Some people do. Some people, especially women.
Yeah, but if you haven't talked to that person, God knows how long.
Here's the thing. I understand what Jose was saying because
I have ex-coworkers that I have friends on Facebook. I'm like, what? Like, I'm really, like, I don't even bother because I don't really care.
With Jose, I understand. Jose,
but then you're taking it
exactly.
But if you don't really care,
I can't relax.
Then taking the step to unfriend them actually kind of shows something, doesn't it?
Well, look.
Okay, so let David make his point.
What I was going to say about Jose is it's different for Jose. Jose is on Facebook because he's connecting mostly with his family and his close friends.
Right.
And
that was my intention.
And he has a family. He has kids. He has a wife. It's different when you're single. You can accept anybody. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
but it's a little
true.
bit different when he's sharing pictures of intimate moments with his family, his kids' birthdays and stuff like that. You don't want everybody seeing that.
Privacy.
No, it's not. It's not hiding, but it's
This guy privacy.
you don't want everybody seeing that all the time.
But there's still privacy.
Yeah, that's kind of an illusion.
It is kind of an illusion, but
Yeah.
you know,
almost. The Dolphins are driving, baby.
A giant
So,
scored.
hang on,
So do you
And fucking rise.
real quick. I was just showing Dave this video that I get in one of my Instagram group chats, and it's CeeLo with that Samsung Galaxy phone that apparently like blows up. And the video actually shows
that actually blows up.
Okay,
the video actually shows the fucking phone blowing up against his face.
Oh,
wow.
And he's using it.
Pretty fucking,
Yes,
he's
he's
using
using
it.
it.
Pretty fucking awesome.
I see that video.
Time out. We're about the. Oh, son of a bitch.
Full back.
No.
Full back draw.
I gotta see this.
Man, more tripped up on.
You know what is
Hang on,
funny?
we're in the red zone. We're in the red zone.
Yeah,
We're in the red
I
zone.
saw it. I'm like, I didn't notice it was CeeLo on his thing.
Oh man.
Jose, what's this shit?
Hang on a second. I'm watching the freaking Dolphins on red zone.
We knew this thing was gonna be crazy.
Oh,
we're
somebody
talking
stepped on
about watching two things at once. Come on.
Okay, so let's see.
they stepped on man.
So this
I
person
saw that.
is friends with Alfred.
Who's out?
Do you know? Well, I don't want to give his last name on the podcast, but do you recognize this person?
I recognize the boy. Yes.
Okay, so he's one of the.
He's one of the kids that was at the
Okay.
graduation.
So this person here is somebody that I don't know.
And they sent you a friend request.
Yes, it's a woman. She looks like
She saw you.
That's what I told you. My
at the-
interior wings.
Saw her at the event and was like, "Oh my god, look at his bald ass!" And
she was impressed. She was impressed.
come on,
Yeah.
he got that.
Oh, I think that's.
He got that. Oh,
No, I think that was out of bounds. Was that third down?
Yeah, it was.
Son of a bitch.
Kick the
Did he catch it?
Yeah, I recognize the boy.
So she's probably like
The mom.
The mom,
Yeah, she's
yeah.
probably the mom.
Told you. Told you.
I am stroking my beard.
All right.
Now you're like, oh, maybe I'll friend her.
Maybe.
I think he
I
had
can't see
that.
much.
That should be a touchdown.
You trying to support single mothers role?
I mean,
That
that's
should be a
that's
touchdown.
what strip clubs
I
are
didn't see
for,
it.
right?
Watch the replay. Oh, come on.
Now they're gonna ban us because we're talking about single mothers who like trying to, we're racist.
Okay,
too.
but no, but-
Come on. What is this?
We're everything.
No.
That actually, like you saying that actually brings up something that I wanted to talk
Okay,
about.
what is that noise?
That's
Yeah, I'm on the video.
It's another video I was watching on this.
Yeah. It was,
So that brings up something that I wanted to talk about because I feel like this whole thing.
Oh,
this,
shit.
this whole
Hang on,
thing
wait.
with.
He
That's
catches
a touchdown.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that is.
Yes.
His knee was
That's a
down.
touchdown.
That's what I said.
Come on, Dolphins.
So I do feel like, along with so many other things, we take sides and we just see people who are on the other side as just like this. We blanket them, and I think that one of the problems that we're in today is that whole racist thing, and that like if you voted for Trump, you're a racist.
No, you can't say
And
that.
I think that becomes a problem for a lot of people because I know a lot of people.
Part of the issue too.
I know a lot of people who did like who liked Trump for a long time. That I could tell you that are not racist, and that just actually drove like hearing that kind of stuff drove them to like not want to really listen to anything that anybody else had to say. And there's a responsibility from the other side of that, like we're not listening to each other.
Right.
We're judgmental.
We're making very wide generalizations.
Yes.
Okay.
So we generalize people as soon as we found something wrong with them, comparing to something bad or whatever it is. This time, in this.
Did it go this way?
So
That was it.
Holy shit.
oh wow.
What I will say about that and what people say about Trump, and that if you voted for him, you're racist. I don't think you're necessarily a racist. And this is coming from somebody who most people think is white. I'm supposed to be the core person that voted for him. I'm uneducated.
But that's because you are.
I'm white. But I'm not. But I'm not white. Just most people think. Most people think that.
No,
Let me tell you something. It's completely
I
different
thought you were white
growing
until
up.
like 3 months ago.
It's completely different growing up in Miami, where half the people think you're white and the other half people think you're not white.
Right. Everybody who you. Right. I get.
So
that,
my thing with Trump voters is, sure, you can like the guy, whatever. He's a pretty ballsy dude. Some of the stuff he's come back with is, I'm like, dude, that's an awesome response. His whole response to the Russian hackers, he's like, from the intelligence community, isn't this the same people who said that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? Dude, that's an awesome comeback.
That is actually a great response.
Brilliant comeback. Okay, whatever. My point is, when you have a racist community voting for him, and you're voting for him as well, it's kind of like saying, well, I don't think he's racist, but I'm okay with racism. Because the stuff he is promoting he does promote racism, whether he says it or not. Some of the stuff he says is unbelievably racist.
Says it's
and you may not be racist, you may like the guy, but voting for him, it's almost like you're like, okay, it doesn't really affect me. And I find that there are a lot of white people that did vote that way because, honestly, it doesn't affect them in any way at all. Whether there's a rise in hate crime by white people against other people, that doesn't affect them.
Mm-hmm. But how do you? But you know that? How do you know that?
I don't know that. But ignorance is not an excuse.
No.
If you sit there and say, I'm not racist, but I'm voting for this guy who's obviously supported by racists, and you say, oh, I didn't know that. What is your problem? You're going to be ignorant about the person you're voting into the presidency? Mm-hmm. That's where I take offense to.
Now here's the thing is that, let's say, okay, so if you voted for Hillary Clinton, then that's like saying that I'm okay with politicians lying and like
being
deleting, doing the thing like this whole thing. Look,
keeping things on the table.
I think there were a lot of things that were like. I think the Benghazi thing was a witch hunt. I think the email thing is something to be concerned about, and I know that she's not the only one that does it. I know that she's not the only one guilty of it, but that's kind of like saying if you voted for Hillary, then you're okay with that. It's kind of like you're saying the same thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
I agree with that. I agree that, look,
did you not vote
I am
for
an independent. I am an independent.
But did you not vote for either?
I had to sit there and be like, this really sucks because I don't want to vote for either one of them.
Right.
And you know what? I don't get a choice in the primaries because I am an independent.
Yeah,
so I didn't get to vote. I didn't get to vote for Trump.
I had no
in the primaries, and I didn't get to vote for Hillary in the primaries. To be honest, I first said I'm not voting for anybody if Hillary wins the Democratic primaries. I said this is ridiculous that this is our choices.
Right.
And the Democratic Party made me absolutely crazy because they're so dumb. They put this person in there because the Democrats are like, this is our person. We're going to put her in there. We don't care what the rest of the country thinks. We don't care what the independents think. And that's really why they lost the race. They want to sit there and put it on the Russian hackers and all this other garbage. You know what? You want to know why they lost? Because they were so arrogant
Mm-hmm.
To sit there and say anybody who is like, oh, we support Bernie Sanders, whatever. But to support anybody other than Hillary, they're like, you guys are fools. They were so arrogant about they ran the primaries
They put all their eggs in one
that it
basket.
completely said the independents went, you know what, we're not going to vote for this person. You guys suck. You're not listening to what we want. You're only going, our team, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah,
it's like
and
high
that's
school
what both
football.
teams do, yeah.
It's like high school football. Whenever I watch politics, I'm like, this is like being in high school. When we're in high school, we root for our football team. And every other football team, we have to hate. We have to hate that school, even though those kids live a block away from us.
And even though they do the same things, like I've seen like over and over, year after year, somebody will come out with something that like this is wrong, and it's like something that they did a couple of years ago, or something that they're gonna end up doing anyway. Like they can.
That was his last fight.
You can literally do the exact same thing that the other guy did, but it's okay because he's on my team.
Right, it's completely
It's
ridiculous.
not okay, and it just goes back and forth.
Which is why I'm in.
And then when it happens, it's like, well, you guys did it.
Which is totally not an excuse. But you asked me who I voted for. I will tell you.
No, I asked you if you didn't vote for anybody, but if you want to say who you voted for,
I'll tell you who I voted for. I don't really care. I voted for Hillary
You
Clinton.
wrote it yourself.
I voted for Hillary Clinton, and the reason why
I'd vote for David over freaking Hillary.
I heard in Texas, Greg Popovich got a few writings. He's the head coach for the San Antonio Spurs.
That's funny.
You know who I voted for? I didn't vote for anybody because the vote doesn't mean a fuck. You know what we vote for with every day, which I really want fucking people to get? We vote with our dollar every fucking day.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's true.
Of course.
And
yes,
nobody
that
really
is
pays
true.
attention to where that dollar goes.
I don't mind
No,
those.
of course not. Look at Walmart. People don't pay
It's
attention to
sad.
where their money goes. Look at how much money they put into
we
Walmart.
sit here and talk about how we care about, like, say, for example, the environment. Yeah,
Well, that's
You guys click
a
on that link.
problem to a lot of people. It's like a lot of people are like Facebook. They post stuff about the environment, about the kids, but they don't do anything about it.
You guys,
they just repost something and they make him feel better.
Well, that's right. You did click on
Exactly.
that CNN clip. Clip that I sent you guys was pretty,
I'd rather just say that
pretty
like,
intense.
you know, do at
But-
least something minimal.
Yeah.
You know, it's minimal about it.
Well, it's little things that you do each day.
Or say you don't actually give a fuck. Just be honest and say you don't give a fuck.
It's
Because look,
just-
here's the fact of the matter is that like, how many freaking iPhones are there out there? How many of them were bought after we found out that people in China building these iPhones have such poor working conditions that they had to build a net outside the building
So you don't
for
kill
when they
themselves.
jump off?
Well,
They literally got to the point where,
Yes.
not only do they jump off, but they do it so much, let's take precautions and build a net around the
Jump
building.
off means suicide and stuff.
you're
Yeah, exactly. Like they jump off the building because they're
Yes.
living such horrible
you're
lives.
coming back to what I said though.
Yeah,
Coming back to what I said, where it's like, oh wow, that really kind of sucks, but it doesn't really affect me, so I'm going to buy the phone anyway
Exactly.
because that's what I want.
exactly.
But to be true, actually, the sales of Apple have gone down, no?
A little
yeah,
bit.
but that's
yeah.
funny because
Yes, but not because they give a crap, but not because of that. Because they look at the iPhone and are like, oh, there's nothing new about
yeah,
it.
it's the same thing.
Well,
They got intercepted.
Dolphins interception, yeah.
to be perfectly clear, people are sitting there talking about where the iPhone is made. You're going to buy a phone that's not made in China in the same working conditions?
How about we just like stop buying crap we don't need?
Like that's going to
How
happen.
about we
That's
stop
the
buying
American
crap we
dream,
don't
dude.
need?
That's the American dream is to buy
Spit out
crap
the
that you
bone,
don't
maybe.
need.
I mean,
But yeah, I get that. But what I'm saying is that like really like
You want to
you know
change
we
the
want
culture.
to
You're
act
absolutely right.
we want to act like we give a damn, but we really don't.
Yeah.
If we really did,
Everybody would stop what they're doing.
I mean, look.
The other truth is that we're too many. We're reaching way past the population that we are expected. Like we're
Yeah.
living longer.
If
than
there's
we
going to be
are
a change
expected.
in any way, it's definitely not going to be in our lifetime.
Yes,
But by
Well,
then,
if we don't-
but by then, if we even get
because
through our
we're-
lifetime,
because we're
well,
declaring
if
that.
we even
But-
get through our
but-
lifetime,
we can make that choice now.
yes, that is true. But I mean, is there going to be enough people to do it?
It's such a huge cultural thing, and like David was saying, is that
It's human
that's the
nature.
American dream. It's the opportunity and the wanting and the it's always something more. There's always something more.
So
And
what if it's time to
I think it's just-
reevaluate their American dream?
Well, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's very difficult to change such a collective. Yeah, I mean, obviously the choice comes down to each person as an individual, but in the end, we're a herd, man. I mean, it's really very difficult to get out of that. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm not necessarily pointing you out, but I'm sure you felt the same way too. Where like sometimes you're like, man, those that new speaker or that new or whatever, that new guitar looks fucking badass. Do I need that guitar? Maybe not, but it's fucking badass.
No, absolutely. And here's the thing: is I've given so much crap away, but as far as guitars, I want more.
Yeah.
I do want more.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm getting at.
I do want more. Yeah.
In
But that's what I'm getting
Tennessee,
at.
you spent like 3 hours in one fucking guitar store, and
that's
then
what
you
I'm
fucking
getting
buy
at.
anything. You just fucking sat there playing that shit.
It's damn.
But that's exactly
And
what
I'm
I'm
not-
getting at.
yeah.
Is that yeah, I understand your point, and I understand what you're getting at. But for every individual, there's always something that they might want more of. And maybe it's material,
potatoes
maybe
in my
it's
face.
not. But there's always something.
And the idea that there has to be is really where the problem begins.
Well,
I'm the kind of person that's always been like, let's take a root of the problem. Let's take a look at the root of the problem, and the root of the problem is the wanting.
Oh wow, it's straight at the
Dude,
player.
straight to him.
Yes.
What's he
the
looking at?
problem is, the root of the problem is we as people are emotional.
Yeah.
And that's what drives us to do things. We don't like to admit it, but
Yeah.
part of the thing is the American dream is to have more than the guy next to you.
Dude, the grass
And
is
if
always
they have
true.
more than you do, you are envious of them.
Yeah.
So one of my buddies that I was hanging
Yeah.
out with, I'm gonna
So,
keep it.
so why can't we give that up?
Why can't I get my
Sorry.
Go.
You hadn't been. I didn't realize you were talking.
Exactly. So pay attention. No, so one of my buddies who actually did vote for Trump, he's already told me he loves his president. His ideology, which I can sort of understand, is like I had mentioned to him. Oh, what about this guy that's going to be Secretary of State? He's the CEO of ExxonMobil or whatever. And okay, the guy is successful. That's great and everything, but if he doesn't have the experience, then it's like that's the whole idea of draining the swamp or whatnot, bringing people that don't have the experience, apparently. But hey, he has a valid point. He's like, why wouldn't you want to wake up every day and be as successful as you want to be? And that's what these guys bring to the table. I just think that because he's who he is, the whole fossil fuel argument, considering the link that I sent you guys today, to me it was just a bit of a surprise. But hey, I mean, it's his opinion, and I don't mind his opinion. He's my boy.
This is what I would say to him. I would say, everybody who you think is successful is not necessarily successful. There are plenty of people who are considered successful, but you don't know anything about them.
Right. You don't even know if they did it the right way.
There are plenty of people who are considered successful, but it's because of where their family is.
But it's
If you grow up in a but if you grow up in a family who is already $1 billion family,
But then they made
Your
that
kids are not gonna
expand
fail.
more.
you're going to have those connections already set up. You're going to be guaranteed an incredible job. Let's just say, for example, look at George W. Bush. Do you think he would have ever become president if his father wasn't George Bush Sr.? Really? Or the head of the CIA? Come on. Give me a break. That's the point I'm making. Is that
And
people
his
will
brother
see
was
somebody
the
like
governor of
that.
Florida.
People will see that as somebody is successful because they have money and wealth and are in a good position. But that doesn't mean they work their way to get there. And that's what he should look at. If they are a
That's a
self-made
good point.
person, that is completely different. Look at Trump himself. He wasn't successful because he was
Oh, no,
this
of
genius.
course. Well, that's the whole thing is that the
would
argument
say-
is, okay, he took the money and look what he did with it.
He was a genius in a sense because he really just worked the system.
Right.
And
No,
he-
And that's
he didn't.
the whole
He
thing.
didn't.
He
That's the
did, though. He
thing.
did, though. And
That's
those
the
are the
thing.
flaws in
No.
our system, in the American system, is that
He did not work the system.
He worked the
You want to know
loopholes.
how he became successful? Because of his father. People don't realize what his father did. You realize his father is one of the most racist people that ever existed in business in New York. You know how he made his millions? Is he got subsidies from the U.S. government so that people coming back from the wars could have a place to live. And you know what he did? He pushed out all the minorities out of those neighborhoods and said, you guys can't live here, even though that's not what he was supposed to do. It was completely illegal what he did.
Right.
But he had all this real estate that the government basically gave him.
But what I mean is like, so you know, they talk about his bankruptcies, right? And yeah, he wasn't able to sustain these businesses or his wealth or whatever. But then he used the system to get himself back on his feet.
That's what some people.
Well,
That's
if
what
you
some
want to
people
believe that, there's
and
some
I'm not saying that that's like a good thing or a bad thing. But
there's
it's
some
just
people
like
who
people,
don't
you know,
think he has any money.
people appreciate play the game.
He says
maybe.
he says he's worth $10 billion.
I have a question for you guys though, because
Is it legal in Florida?
I have a question for you guys because I don't know if you have you
how crazy it is.
Shit can't see.
have you guys seen the beginning of I think it was one of the recent Daily Show episodes. They showed Trump on his thank you
Oh
tour.
man, it's such a shame that Jon Stewart's gone.
Well,
Trevor Noah's
I like this. I like Trevor Noah.
he's not
And
Jon Stewart,
there's some
but-
things about me I'm not sure what it is, but like sometimes it kind of like bugs me. But I think he's doing a good job. But anyway, they showed some clips of Trump on his thank you tour, which is like kind of weird in and of itself. It's not something that's ever been done before. But he's going around the country now to the places where he campaigned and
Right.
and like having like rallies and talking about, you know, and really just thanking the voters. And you know, you were talking about draining the swamp, and this is just one example because they have a few examples that they show, but talking about draining the swamp, and he's like basically saying that was a great catchphrase. Like he actually, when somebody told him, somebody told him to use it, and he's like, "That's cheesy. I'm not going to do that." But then he just happened to say it, and he was like, and he's saying this in front of a crowd of people. He's saying this during one of his rallies on stage on a mic in front of a podium. Like I started saying during the crowd, and people started sucking it up and eating it up, and they loved it. So I kept saying it more and more.
Well,
He was talking about Hillary Clinton, and like, oh yeah, before, you know, on the campaign trail, it played well to say that I'm going to put her behind bars, but now it really doesn't.
So now we don't care. He said, now we don't
right,
care.
and so basically,
now it doesn't matter.
and so basically, like one of the things that I said when I during the election, I was like, this guy's going to win, and at the same time, I was kind of like, you know what, this might be like something that we actually really need right now, because the way he behaves is something that actually we really need to take a look at. Because this is how all politicians work. It's just you can actually see him speaking out loud what's in his mind.
What's in his mind.
Well, he's an exaggeration of what politics are.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he an exaggeration, or is he just...
yeah, he is.
Maybe there's more transparency in a way.
He takes the ridiculous...
Because that's what a lot of people like about him, is that he's
a higher
transparent.
level. But he's not transparent. People who think that are not actually paying attention. If they think he's transparent, he's not. He's the exact opposite of transparent. He's sitting there, he sits there and tells people what they want to hear. He says that he's being truthful, but then there's interviews right after that. He's like, "Oh, I'm just saying that because that's what people want to hear."
That's what I'm saying. Is so okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But that's not being transparent.
At first, so maybe transparent is not the right term to use. But the fact of the matter is that he's exposing himself for what he is and for what really all politicians are. And this is what we've been stuck with. We just haven't realized it until now. What if what's happening with Trump is that we're actually finally getting to see as like voters, as part of this community, as part of the society, what's really going on in the minds of these people that claim to give a fuck about us?
I think there are people who do give a fuck. I think there are people in government who do.
Yeah.
I don't think the majority of them do, but I don't think Trump is quite the same as a politician. But people are sitting there saying he's not a politician. That's why they like him. But
I mean, I see him and I think he's a really great politician.
Mickey Gall and Sage Northcutt. Mickey Gall is the guy that beat CM Punk.
Oh,
And Sage Northcutt is like
Sage.
you know who he is. He's a
The
big
latest pretty
young
boy.
prospect.
who
You know,
splits
New
apples in
York.
half with his hand.
That's actually not that hard. Have you tried that before?
I haven't tried it before, but it
It's
doesn't look
not
that
too
hard.
difficult.
Do what now?
Well, what's it called? I think it was
tear apples in half.
somebody's daughter just did it too.
Yes, I
Yeah,
see
you,
that.
you hold it and you basically just start to kind of work your thumbs into it and then just...
Some I can't remember who it is, but it's an MMA guy, and his teenage daughter is like,
That's not that big a deal.
and did it herself. I mean,
Right.
it's a trick.
Yeah,
it's a
of
trick, like most things. It looks
Well,
cool,
like-
and you're like, oh my goodness,
Well, like
that's
the, like the
amazing.
whole
And you're like,
thing
wait,
with
no, it's
tearing
not.
a phone book in half. You know how that works, right? You crinkle it a certain way, and then you just start gradually tear it so that each page tears at a time, and it just looks
Yeah.
like you're tearing the whole thing.
Yes.
It's just a way. It's just a technique of how you do it. I mean, it's still hard as fuck, but there's a way to.
to do it so that it works.
Right.
Yes.
Or how about Hulk tearing his shirt? That beast.
Hold on, you think?
He
I don't
pre-tore
know.
that.
It's
He
hard-
pre-tore those
It's hard
bitches
to tear a
every-
shirt off, especially when you already have it cut in the back with all the holes. For
No, it was already pre-torn. Man. No, you can go there.
Now he hears this and he's like,
I did have to admit the Hulk looked awesome because he made it look like it was really hard to tear off. Remember, he was like,
He's all veiny. And
even though his
fucking-
arms were like gigantic, it's like, dude, come on.
And I love how the Ultimate Warrior always used to look like he was on cocaine.
He's so
was.
Because he
He's
was.
so like he was.
What do you think he was? That paint?
He was probably on a little
Somebody
bit more
told
than
him-
just.
somebody
What do
told
you
him-
think it was? That face paint? It was just dry cocaine.
I don't-
on his face.
I don't know if he was or was not, but even later on in life, dude, that guy was intense. It didn't matter
Yeah.
what he was doing. Dude, you've never seen him, dude. The guy, that wasn't an act. The Ultimate Warrior, when he was talking and stuff, that wasn't an act. That's
But you
how
know-
he is.
But you know why
That's
he
how
was
he
like
really
that,
was.
right? Because he was from parts unknown.
Oh, it's,
Well, that explains it.
Because you never saw his bio? Like, you know, Hulk Hogan was from fucking somewhere California,
Oh, okay.
Los Angeles, California. And, you know, fucking Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, was from somewhere in Dallas, Texas. And the Ultimate Warrior was from parts unknown.
Oh.
How else could you explain it?
Actually, when all this era of great wrestling happened here in the United States, I wasn't here in the States. You know?
Oh, no.
No, so all they were. Well, I'm from Peru, so all those wrestling events that you guys will see. Like, yes, we'll get it, but probably we'll get it like
A month later, yeah,
a month later. I don't know how long. And it wasn't consistently. I don't think it was consistent. But it had a big fan base
Right.
over there too.
Yeah, I mean, when I
In that
was, what, fucking 11, 12, 13 years old, I was real big into that shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it was like, yeah, that shit's real.
Well, everybody thought
You
that.
know?
that
Yeah,
it
because
was
when you're a
real,
kid,
'cause
because it's one of those things.
even
that
the
you're just like,
adults
oh,
back in the day thought they were real.
yeah, you got into the characters and shit, and
I think the adults didn't even think
Right.
it wasn't real.
I'll just leave it there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I used to be real big
What's-
into that shit, but I got away from it after a while.
Is that his mouthpiece that looks like that, or is he missing teeth?
No, that's probably his
Not his
mouthpiece.
probably.
Guillermo followed it for way longer than that. I mean,
Yeah, Guillermo. When I got here to the
Oh,
States,
yeah.
I remember Guillermo was still into
Yeah, he
it
followed it for way
really,
longer than
really
that.
for a long time.
Nobody wants some cheesecake? Cheesequake? Excuse me.
Jeez.
maybe in a little bit. I might take a hit.
still real for him.
Huh?
I
It's still
didn't
real
see
for him.
I didn't see you.
It's still real for him. All
Should
right,
we pause it, or are we talking about something different?
No. Let's keep going. So the fight started with
Sage Northcutt and Mickey Gall.
yes. There we go. And
Was it, turn
two
over?
things.
Somebody's
two things are
excited.
going at once.
Yeah, right now the Dolphins just got a turnover, I think.
Yeah. So
And Mickey Gall and Sage Northcutt just started their round.
we are in the second quarter with 3 minutes 49, and the Dolphins are losing by 1 point at this point.
So the Dolphins are actually in the playoff running.
Oh shit!
They're in the hunt.
Whatever happened? I heard Tannehill got hurt.
Yeah, he injured his knee last week
Oh wow!
during a tackle.
So Norco is trying to do a rubber guard kind of, and he kind of lost.
Yeah, he lost it.
He lost it.
Mickey Gall's in the half guard,
Yes.
trying to work his way out.
I've never seen him on Jiu-Jitsu. So.
He's Mickey Gall's supposedly a pretty good jiu-jitsu guy. Sage Northcutt, I don't know. I don't know what he's. I want to say Mickey Gall's like a brown belt.
Jarvis Lane.
I could be wrong, but supposedly his jiu-jitsu is very good. Sage Northcutt, I think, is a more traditional martial arts guy. Like he's more of a karate guy.
Yes.
The
way that he stands to.
Right, but supposedly he's pretty good on the ground too. He's a good wrestler. Mickey, I think,
able
is
to take him out of his. From the
Mickey. I
bottom.
think is a better jiu-jitsu guy.
Those are the weird moments when you are like just
Oh,
pure
he's-
forcing stuff, you know.
oh, he's stepping over the guard.
So we're having a little pause on the stuff.
So this is not delivery?
No,
It's the journal, man.
Wait, I was trying to avoid a free plug. Come on, guys.
That's it. Another commercial. How many commercials we have already?
I don't know. What else we got? Look,
I was like hinting. Come on, did you no sponsor us?
we're eating Cheez-Its and we're eating
No, actually,
as well.
No, thank you.
It's actually pretty good.
Mickey Gall is in side control and
Oh wow! He's brought out.
he might have the anaconda choke there from the top. He's got to get his leg over. He's crawling on the fence. I think he's got the neck and the arm. I think right now. Uh-oh. He's in there. If he can get his right leg over, I think he might. Oh, he got out.
Oh wow!
Now Sage Northcutt is on top.
He just landed an elbow.
Yeah. Oh, working for an omoplata? He's trying to work an omoplata. No, an arm. Sorry, he was trying to work his leg.
Really nice.
What now? An omoplata?
Omoplata.
Omoplata, what's that?
It's an arm lock with the leg. Like he would arm lock Northcutt's shoulder with his own leg. They're back on their feet. So yeah, there's a little bit of a lull in the conversation. Who knows what the hell we're going to talk about now? 'Cause we've been all over the fucking place.
Yes.
I think next time we need to pick an actual subject.
No,
I actually think it's great like
it's
this.
great like this.
Yeah, you think so?
Because really, like, everybody does that. You know, everybody picks a topic to talk about, and that's what they
And then
stick
it
to.
starts to, well, but then it
And there's
starts to
nothing,
deviate
and
a
that's
little
what
bit.
people look for. I mean,
I think,
so
I believe like if we plan out stuff and we take, we're gonna attack this and this and this. I think we'll never follow it because we deviate. To
Yeah.
so many, so
that's
we
probably
go-
true too.
It may not work
branches
anyway.
And like our discussions go everywhere.
Yeah.
So might as well just.
Okay, so
I think that's what'll make this unique is that we just.
next thing I want to
whatever we
talk about is what movie are we looking forward to that's coming up?
Yeah. When everybody sits down back again, we can talk about
we
that.
gotta talk about
stuff.
that.
I just want to turn back time and redo Ghost Rider without Nicolas Cage, and that's all I care about in the
I don't know
world.
if that's gonna happen anytime
Like if I die without seeing that, then my life is not worth it.
Once you see something, you cannot unsee it.
Especially with that, Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh shit!
Really, like, okay. Why is Nicolas Cage a good actor? Why is he considered a good actor?
Is he considered a good actor? I don't know about that anymore. He might have been a while ago, but I don't
Why
think-
was he ever?
Because
I see some of his older stuff.
You
It's,
have to understand being a good actor is by popularity. You understand? It's being by media that puts you out there. You know, the whole marketing that is behind of it. It's not because they push you. The
Like-
actor they push it to you. It's
Like,
like,
did
it's
you
not
see
like you
him-
choose it.
I mean, there's some actors that are genuinely good. Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yes.
Denzel Washington.
There's some actors that yes, but Leonardo DiCaprio how long did it took him to win an Oscar?
Yeah, but that wasn't because he wasn't a good actor. It's
Yes,
just, it
that's why.
was because he just got snubbed. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things. He made so many great movies.
Yes, I think
that-
he's a great
Maybe it
actor.
was just bad timing. I mean, it depends on what movies he was up against. You know, on a particular year. Maybe he was just up
Yeah,
against this
maybe.
monster of a movie that.
Yeah, he was. It just. I mean,
It's
I don't
not
know.
bad timing.
Maybe. Yeah, exactly. So, what's your favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movie?
Favorite?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I gotta go
Oh,
with
the Wolf of Wall Street.
The Wolf of Wall Street is
Wolf
really
of Wall
good. I don't know if I would say it's my favorite, but I like Inception a lot.
Inception
is really good.
But
You
I
mean the prequel to
Oh,
to Doctor Strange.
Your movie.
The prequel to Doctor Strange?
No, I like Inception a lot, and I gotta say that Departed is up there too.
Departed is really,
fucking
really
awesome.
good. I think
Departed.
is so good.
I don't actually think I watched The Departed.
You haven't seen The Departed?
But my favorite-
awesome gangster movie. It's in Boston. It's set in Boston, in like the
Right.
Boston Mafia. It's pretty freaking badass.
The other
That's-
one's good that he acts good, but I don't know if a lot of people watch it. Catch Me If You Can too.
He was good in
I saw
that
that.
too.
Good too.
I mean, I liked it, but shit.
Oh, touchdown!
Touchdown Dolphins.
Nice.
All right.
Yes, now I'm a Dolphins fan.
So touchdown.
Guillermo Dolphins just scored.
So my favorite was
Is it Jarvis Landry?
Touchdown
14?
from Matt Moore.
Number
2
14.
stills.
Damn it.
Oh,
That's
he got
not good.
dropped.
Who got
it was long. It was a long.
No
Sage.
cut.
It was
Yes.
a long touchdown.
Okay, so the Dolphins just scored
Yes.
a touchdown.
Oh, wow.
Matt Moore to Kenny Stills.
that's pretty good.
And Sage Northcutt has given up his back, and he's about to get choked out.
Is this me?
Yeah, it's yours. That could be
Yeah,
yours.
finish
That could be
it.
David. Give this one to David because I don't think it was.
Oh, he's dropping some bombs. I'm still working on mine.
So sorry, I set that down really hard.
what you said? Catch Me If You Can was one of your favorites.
I like
Favorite.
Shutter
It
Island.
was good, you know. I think
Oh,
it was
shit.
really good.
Did you guys watch Shutter Island?
I saw.
That's
I
your
saw
movie.
Shutter Island.
That
Oh,
is, that is
Nicky Gall gets
such
the
a great movie.
win. Rear naked choke.
Wow, I can't believe it.
I told you his jiu-jitsu was good.
Yes. Wow.
Man, that's a lot of blood.
They both of them. They hit each other really, really hard. Both
I
of
feel like punching somebody right now.
Let's go fucking hit the pads, man. I'm always down to hit pads.
No, I want to punch faces. No.
Dude, speaking of fucking punching faces, fucking Al punched the shit out of me on Thursday, man.
Really?
Yeah, he got me with that right hand. I was trying to avoid his
You were
right hand.
sparring?
When I was sparring him, the big
Oh,
head
okay, yeah.
the police officer. I was
Oh, he's a
sparring
police
him.
officer?
Yeah, he's a police officer. I was
So,
sparring
for
him.
people that don't know what we're talking about, we take Muay Thai
We-
classes.
we practice
and
Muay Thai.
We have some sparring time. And
Who's we?
Jose, the kickboxer.
you, Raul, Jose, and me, Alonso. So we're taking some classes, and we have sparring time here and there, like every.
every other couple of weeks, every 2 weeks.
I haven't sparred in a while.
Yeah, you haven't sparred in a while.
So one of the guys that fights or takes the classes, not Muay Thai, but he takes
He practices Krav Maga,
Krav Maga.
but they practice a little kickboxing and boxing drills and stuff like
so
that. too,
the instructor combines it with us to spar, light sparring, but he's really really strong on his punches.
but- well, he's a very dense guy. Like
Yes.
he's not,
Yeah.
Very
tall.
dense.
Well, not dense, not mentally.
No, I wasn't even thinking about it that way.
Body-wise,
I'm
he's
saying that's
a
a
big-
very nice way of saying like
no,
he's
but
a
I'm saying
big
he's
dude.
thick.
He's just a big, he's got a big belly, but he's just a big dude. He's got to be what, 250?
Probably.
He's got to be he's probably like 5'8", 250.
like he's a rock.
He's just a bowling ball.
Yeah.
And
Like he's
he
a
just
rock
throws,
with,
and he
uh,
also-
But the thing it is that punch that he has, like if he gets you, like
he throws
on
that
the-
right hand mean, man. He
Yes.
fucking throws that right. I was trying to avoid that right hand the whole fucking time,
I always
and he
fire
tagged me with it at the very fucking end of the round. And I was
He's
just like,
fast
oh
with his
shit.
punches. He's fast with his punches. He's not a joke. He's really
You got
fast.
to
with
angle out on it. You got to
Yes.
angle out on
Yes.
it.
He's not able to catch me that very well because I'm always moving around
Very
side to
nice.
side, side to side, side to side,
Mhm.
and he's very I won't say like I'm better than him in any way, but I'm a little more agile than him, so
Yeah,
I'm able
sure,
to
yeah.
avoid him very easy. But if he is able to cut me with a right hand that he has, yeah, you're gonna feel it because I have felt it.
I've sparred with him a couple of times, and
But at the beginning, probably when you were starting to go, he wasn't the loose. Now
this?
he's starting to get really loose and
Who's this?
what is it? Oh,
Al?
You
yes.
took my spot, bro.
So they're coming back from a little bit of, how do we call this? Entertaining time.
Oh, how was the fight?
entertaining. It was a
Rear naked choke.
Yes.
Oh, he called it, dude. He called that.
Really?
Yes,
it was a
I saw
natural.
an interview with him.
It was a
today
natural
before I came
remedy
over
break.
here.
Yes.
One of the TMZ guys stops him on the street and he's asking him a few questions. He's like, so what are your predictions? He's like, well, I think I'm either gonna knock him out in the first round or choke him out in the second round.
Oh wow.
And he's like, I'd like to knock him out. He's like, I'd like to knock him out, but I think I'm gonna choke him out in the second round. That's what makes
I think he dropped him on the
Did he?
first one. Yeah, or Narco dropped him. I don't know. I'm a little fuzzy on the details now.
I might have to go back and watch that fight.
Yeah, I can't believe he did it, but whatever, good for him. He's showing that he's a really potential on
Oh, I think so. I think so. I think he's.
because I think Narco was a favorite, no?
I think so.
Yes, so there we go.
So, what do you think really people want to hear about right now?
This is not a.
No, I'm just asking. I'm not saying that this is how it's going to be, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying like
It,
this is
okay,
the topic that I
I'm
want
gonna give
to.
a little explain of things.
what
I wanted
what
to
I
create
missed.
this podcast
You missed Mickey Gall winning.
No, I saw
with my
that.
friends
Oh,
because
yeah,
we're
we
big,
were talking-
big. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We're very big nerds. I want to say nerds because it is we have this chat that we call it NERDOS, and so we talk about everything. We talk about even politics, environment, but the most
Movies,
that interests
comics.
us is comics, video games, all the nerd stuff that we get involved
Movies,
in.
shows,
Yeah, shows, everything. that we
music.
watch.
shit.
And we say nerds, but in reality is, you know what nerds is to be like really, when you're really into something,
Yeah,
Like-
I guess
like-
so.
like some people might be really nerds into like auto, and like automobile.
Like auto nerds. Car nerds.
Car nerds.
No, but usually you don't
things
call
like
them car nerds.
Yeah,
Usually you call them,
grease monkeys.
Grease
But you can say, but yeah, I think I get what you're saying is that like just any time somebody is like really interested in something to the point where like they talk about it a lot and just like really care about it, like even though it's not really important at all.
Yeah.
We're just- we're passionate
this is
about
what it
shit like
is.
that.
Like if you are listening to this and you're already all the way to here, which is an hour and 12 minutes already been recording. So
And and we can split it up.
yeah,
Too,
yeah, but what I'm saying is like if this is your cup of tea, great, thank you. You understand?
Yeah.
Like we're gonna talk about everything that we can, but mostly the stuff that interests us.
Whatever fucking.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes I think for me, I mean I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I do want to ask the question: is what is on everybody else's mind?
Sometimes you want to do that.
Yeah, I mean every once in a while, like.
You mean it's not all?
I mean,
about
I
you?
guess I might as well give it a try.
It's not just
like
all about you.
exactly. So I mean, it could be, but it.
So what did I miss? What were you guys fighting about
so-
sparring or what happened?
No.
Mickey Gall.
No, but we were talking about sparring before.
No, we were talking about the guy.
About Al, yeah.
Yes, and that was it.
Yeah, he just
Um,
he punched me right in the nose. My nose is still fucking.
What's that skinny kid's name that was on Tuesday?
On Tuesday?
He was with us on Tuesday. He was there again on
Andrew.
Thursday, but yeah,
Andrew.
Andrew. Man, he like throws those elbows. I don't know what it is about the elbows, but like everything else is kind of like, not that he's bad at everything else, but when he throws elbows, it's just like they just come out like he's a monster all of a sudden.
Right. I
That's
mean, maybe,
crazy.
you know what is? I mean, he does tend to turn a lot, but the problem that he has is he doesn't cover. He might
Yeah,
throw them
yeah.
hard, but he doesn't cover. He doesn't defend himself at the same time. But no, he's. I mean, for his size, he's got good power.
No?
Yeah, the small kid. He's actually my instructor's cousin. His cousin,
Nephew, no?
or no, his cousin.
All right.
But yeah,
He's really strong
for his size.
Like he has a really mean punches.
And you know what else?
On those punches.
Not only is his strength, man. Like I really, the more and more I work on my like when I remember when we first started training Muay Thai, and I started doing elbows, I could feel a lot of like tension, like back here, like I would throw the elbow and I would feel the muscles in my back and between my shoulder blades, just like.
Because
Maybe you weren't as relaxed. Yeah, you weren't as relaxed.
Right. And so what I'm saying is that like, I think a lot of people don't really think about this very much, but like, there's a lot of power that comes out of being flexible.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
I don't think about it ever.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm just saying, like in general, you don't hear much.
We hit this subject before, like just in our own conversation.
Yeah.
The fact that when you're not very flexible, if you're trying to do something, you're fighting your own musculature to try to get your limbs to do a certain thing. So part of it is that for one thing, it's difficult to do a particular movement, but also you're expending a lot of energy,
right,
trying to fight yourself. So that's why again, somebody who's not very flexible will maybe get tired more quickly. At least I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That might happen.
That's the experience I've had for I've talked to you guys about this.
Is a big plus. If you have it, it's like it's a big plus in everything. Everything physical that you wanted to do, I think.
Yeah, I mentioned to you guys this. I don't know if I talked to you about this, David, but like. I've had so much tension lately, and it's definitely getting better. But I had so much tension lately that like a few weeks ago I was making my bed and I literally got worn out.
Really?
So I mean, obviously that's an extreme example because of a condition that I have.
Yeah, that's next.
But like, yeah, definitely like with the elbows.
They're the main event.
All right, so it's time to check my fantasy score.
Oh no.
Okay. Let's see.
It's bad because I needed a touchdown.
Get into the podcast.
Did that Dolphins touchdown help you?
You've already been on camera a couple of times. Yes. You might as well get your 2 cents in. Yeah, you walked right.
Yeah, at least wave.
So you might as well say something.
Like wave.
Hi. He's like, hi, I'm here. That's my wife, by the way.
Wow. I'm playing against the guy I'm playing against where he has 11 points with Bilal Powell. Get out of here. He's the back.
Wait for the camera.
No.
What happened? Touchdown? No, field goal.
We're gonna get a lot of comments on the thread after that.
Yeah. Who's the whole?
Like, oh yeah, he doesn't deserve a girl like that.
only watch the show just because of the that past life.
Yeah.
I waited an hour and 20 minutes just to see that.
At the 1 hour and 20 minute mark. Who's that?
Who's that?
I have 1.1 points. Woo!
Jesus Christ.
That's exciting.
Wow.
Somebody who already has 11 points.
You're sharing that sour punch, right?
Oh, 11 yards.
He has 11 yards.
I thought you said 11 points.
You're sharing that sour punch, right?
No, I'm playing against somebody that has.
You have Sour Patch?
I know, right? You brought one pack.
Sour Patch. Oh, you know what? I thought about bringing over a bag of Doritos for you. The little kid Doritos.
Why the little kid Doritos?
Because that's what we have.
You couldn't have dug for gushing or something like that?
This is my inside joke. Every time we go to David's house and Jose goes to David's house, he rates the pantry.
It's not just Jose though.
It's all the Rivas brothers.
Because you know what it was? The three of us when we go. Remember back in the day when we were all living in mom and dad's house because you guys are still living there.
That's important. That's
important. But let's bring that out to light.
There was never anything to
Let's
eat.
shed a light.
there was never.
Hey, there's reasons.
Hang on, there was never anything to eat at home. So when we got the chance to go to David's house, his house was always fucking stocked.
We were looking forward to that.
Gushers.
We really acted like we didn't have food in our own house.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Well, you guys,
No, but you know what?
to this day, you guys are still, if you go there, you guys are still raised
Because we're conditioned to it.
It's funny that you. I just had a conversation.
every time that I go to any of you guys' houses, I always ask, "Can I have this? Can I have?" I'm very polite to you guys. I would never do that.
We're like Pavlov's dogs. Like going to David's house is like ringing a bell and like we start drooling like.
It's like, where are the cookies? Yeah.
So to mix in all the fantasy football and the picking of the games, I'm also doing betting in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, so I bet with the spreads and stuff like that.
Yeah, you told me you do a
bets,
straight up
bets.
games one, right?
Okay.
The straight up game one is the straight up games one is the picks league. So that you just pick the teams that you think are going to win without the spread. But me and 3 other dudes are also betting in Vegas because Donald lives in Vegas.
Right.
So we sent him money.
Why the hell
and
does he
then
live in
we
Vegas?
all decide on what we want to bet on, and then he puts in the bets.
Okay,
You've been to
so
Vegas?
far-
Who's been to Vegas?
Carol just told me
they just put
if
a.
he moved anywhere, he's going to move to Vegas.
To Vegas?
Any of you guys swore into MMA
Why the
real quick?
fuck would you want to live in
Right, right.
Because they just hang on, time out. Let me change the subject a little bit. Just 'cause
Why
it came
wouldn't
up.
you want
One
to
of the promos that just came up, the Ronda Rousey Amanda Nunes fight that's coming up. What does everybody feel about Ronda's coming back?
Look, man,
Guillermo don't give a fuck.
I just go for whoever is like prettier.
She's got a mole.
So that's kind of a.
She's got a mole.
So
She's
let's
got 'em all.
Mole.
so let's just
I go for the
say
mole.
what is happening. They're taking a girl who is the champion, and they're taking a person who hasn't fought in like a year,
Over a year.
over a year,
Which is
and her
Ronda.
last fight she
Yeah.
lost, yet she's getting the fight for the championship.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think that's right. You know, if you're out that long and your last fight was a loss, you get moved out of the rankings. It's ridiculous.
With Chichenko.
She should have had one more fight. She should have definitely had one more
Or-
fight before
or-
coming back and challenging for the.
Yes.
Now, if you're a
So-
businessman,
Sweet.
if you're
Or
a businessman and you run a business,
Punch,
what would you do?
not patch.
If you were the owner?
They're going
I
for
get
the
it, I
setup.
understand
get
that,
it.
but- But if you're really talking about straight up matchmaking, again, you're taking Ronda Rousey. Now, again, if you look at her record and the things that she's done, she's been amazing for the sport. And she demolished people prior to, but when she fought Holly Holm, she got completely dominated.
Recording?
So it's one of those things where if you come in and you get totally dominated, how do you get a straight up shot? I can understand
Well,
if you
let me
had a
ask
very
you-
close fight and you lost. But I just feel like it's
It's marketing.
But okay, so yeah, like
you gotta
I
make your way back up.
I remember the fight, but I also know that like there's times when I see fights where like people are expecting it to go one way and somebody gets in a good shot, just like you might call it a lucky shot, or you might just say that like, hey, you know, they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. But like I think some people might be able to call that like a lucky shot, or just a shot that came,
got
you know,
caught.
or maybe you got caught. And now I'm not saying that she didn't deserve to lose or whatever, or she didn't lose, but like maybe it really is. Maybe it really
Did you see the
just
fight?
looked a lot worse than it was.
Did you see the fight?
Yeah, I mean, like I
Holly
saw.
Holmes Ronda Rousey fight.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say that was just a lucky shot by Holly Holmes in that fight. She completely
She set it
dominated
up.
that
She
fight
dominated her.
from the very beginning. Like, even if
She
she
could-
hadn't knocked out Ronda
distance.
Rousey, she pretty much would have won
Yeah.
for sure. Like, because she had completely destroyed her, and she was tired. When she came out again, she looked terrible. You're like, this fight is over.
Yeah.
You know, and
She got
don't get me wrong,
completely
there's
dominated.
people who can come back from that, but she's not known for that.
What I say is that when I saw the first time that she went against Holly Holm, and you have to look at the backgrounds. You know, it's like Holly Holm has complete different categories. She's in another pedigree in striking,
In striking,
Yes.
yes.
and going against Ronda Rousey, that I don't know how long she's been practicing stand-up.
She played the correct game. She had the right strategy, and she implemented it correctly.
Yeah.
Whereas there were other, higher level strikers who fought Ronda previously, but they didn't implement their game plan.
Yeah.
So that's where the issue was.
Well, here's the difference. I agree that she's gone up against strikers before. The difference is Holly Holmes is a technical striker,
But that's
and
what
the
I'm
people
saying.
she fought before were more brawlers, where they can throw a punch,
Katangano, yeah.
where they can throw
Misha.
a big heavy punch, but it's not. I mean, Holly Holmes is completely different from almost everybody else in the division.
Right, but
when it comes to girls, her punches and kicks were exact on time.
Right.
It didn't matter if she didn't hit you as hard as she possibly could because she hit you where it counted.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is, I mean, again, maybe they weren't strikers to the level of what Holly Holm is, but what I'm saying is, Kat Zingano is known for her kickboxing, and yeah, the problem with her is that she came in overly aggressive, where, who knows, maybe that's just her style, but knowing what Ronda can do when she's within, grappling range, she should have implemented a plan where she should have stayed more outside, managed her distance, not just fucking rush in and get tossed to the ground. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and then my other point being is that the reason why I don't feel like Ronda should get a title shot right away is, okay, so next title defense, Holly Holm comes out and defends against Miesha Tate. She dominates the fight until the very, was it the very end of the fight where she got choked out by Miesha Tate? I think it was close to the end of the fight.
I think so.
I don't recall exactly. It might have been round 4, but I think it went the distance. It might have been last round. Anyway, she completely dominated Miesha Tate up until that point, and then how does she not get an immediate rematch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
because she doesn't have a name like Ronda Rousey. It's the only reason Rousey's getting a title shot.
So why does Ronda Rousey have a name?
Because she was really,
She was
really
killing
good
it.
for a long time.
because she was destroying
Right.
the
But
competition.
the problem is she didn't really have any competition in her division.
Yeah, and I've heard you say that before, and one of the things that comes up to mind is like, so I wonder if the fact that she didn't have competition, and then all of a sudden she came up with somebody that she was not used to, does that mean that like she didn't? I mean, she still dominated before.
Yes.
And would Holly Holmes have done the same?
Yeah, exactly.
Would she have dominated against the same opponents?
If Holly Holmes had been in the UFC earlier,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, only because it's a different style.
Yeah. So I mean, really, like that's kind of in and of itself, sort of like.
I think if Ronda Rousey went up against a technical striker beforehand, she would have lost. Now, saying that, have you watched the Miesha Tate Ronda Rousey fights? Here's the thing that
No,
amazes
I mean, I'm really, I'm
Well,
honestly,
just-
I'm
just
asking
let
the
me-
question. Yeah.
Just let me tell
So
you.
when is the iPhone going to start recognizing fucking and not ducking?
So Miesha Tate standing up is better than Ronda Rousey. She's a better technical fighter than Ronda Rousey standing up. The problem is she would come in with a punch and then try to grapple with Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey's tremendously strong and has great technique. And
her
Miesha
grappling technique is
Tate,
better.
her grappling's great. She's top.
But it's not.
But it doesn't compare to Ronda Rousey. Every time I watch their fight, I'm like, why are you grappling with her? You're beating her on her feet.
Right.
You're getting the hits and you're hitting her, but instead of staying away from her, you keep going in and playing Ronda's game.
But then you come
and
back
that's
to the
part
point
of
that I was
fighting.
trying to make is that these people are better technical strikers, and yet they chose to engage Ronda
Right.
at a close distance.
They
Wow.
Yeah. So,
they
but
fought Ronda
here's
the
the
way Ronda
thing:
fights, and it's like, what are you thinking?
Right.
isn't part of fighting making that decision?
Right, but the thing is that you also have to. I mean, again, if
You
you're
also
coming
have a
into
coach.
right, you,
Yeah,
for one thing, you
sure.
have a coach, and you've been working. You have a training camp in which
You-
you've
you-
been
and you
working
still- and you
understanding
still
what
make
it is
that
you should be
choice.
doing. Look, bottom line, like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. Okay?
Yeah.
Things change once you're in there.
Exactly.
Of course. However, when you're at a level of these guys where they're in the UFC, they're elite fighters. They've been fighting for years, whatever.
Most of them since they were little kids.
Yeah, they've been fighting competitively for a very, very long time. I mean, your mindset is different. You have, it's not as much instinct as much as it is as it is conditioning and
muscle
memory things. That's what it comes down to. So again, if you go to a 6-week, 8-week training camp and you're working on these specific things because you know who you're going to be fighting,
exactly,
there's no reason why you shouldn't perform in that manner. You know what I mean? Based on the game plan.
Exactly, and that's where my question comes from. Okay, well, let me take that back because that's not what I had in mind. But really, that kind of like brings up the question of and I really think that it's really cool that you brought up Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson, having said what he said, and even Muhammad Ali said that like Mike Tyson is the best ever, right?
Did you see the video of them asking Mike Tyson if he could beat Ali? If they were both in their prime. Anyway, go ahead, keep going.
I saw Muhammad Ali say that Mike Tyson, would beat him.
Okay, but anyway, keep going. I'll tell you about the video.
So that's, I mean, to me, what comes to mind, and like, yeah, I'm really asking the question, because you guys know more about fighting than I do, and so I really am asking the question.
Tyson is in his prime. I'll tell you this right now. Tyson in his prime was pretty much unbeatable.
Right, but so basically, what I'm getting at is being a fighter. Like you guys were talking about the conditioning and the training and then the decision that comes. Like, yes, once you're in the ring, you may have a plan and this and that, but like, isn't part of being a fighter is being able to maintain that plan.
Right, and that's the point that I was making is that the idea is you're supposed to, but again, things change completely once you're in the ring and once you, I mean, yeah.
But aren't you that much greater that when you get in the ring, you can have that kind of power where it doesn't change?
Sorry.
Of course.
Right. Just to let you know, the mic picks all those noises.
Yeah, that's fine. It's something similar to what you guys are talking about.
No, yeah, of course. I mean,
Karate Master accidentally exposed
exactly what it is that maybe they let their instinct take over and not really think about what they should have done.
So what is it about Ronda Rousey, or what is it about them? Is there something about Ronda Rousey or something about them that happened?
Maybe it's just the psychological games prior to. Because again...
Would you consider that part of the fight?
Of course, absolutely. Yes. Are you kidding? Because
dude, look at... Sorry.
No.
I was going to say, look, you brought up Ali. Dude, one of his greatest things was the trash talking he had before.
Right.
It was a mental game. It was a complete mental game where there were guys that he had beat even before they stepped in the ring.
Yes.
So if that's the case, you can actually take a look at the broader picture, and you can really make the case. And I'm not saying this is right, but I think that you can make the case from that sense that Ronda Rousey does deserve a shot.
But again, we're talking about in the sense of straight up fighting. I mean, not necessarily the build up to it, because I mean those are factors that are not measurable.
But it reminds me of the post that you put on Facebook about the iceberg. So
the surface.
Yeah, exactly, because really, like, people don't see anything but that moment.
Right.
People don't see everything that comes before it. And if you take a look at that, and that's what these guys are in the business of.
Okay, so now you're talking about my last fight.
No. I'm talking about just in general. There's everything that leads up to the fight that has an influence on the fight.
Right.
That's all right.
Well, and this is based on my very limited fight experiences. Is that again, that period of time prior to is going to play a big part onto what happens the moment of. It's the thing is though is that when you're talking about people on the professional level who have been doing this for years and years and years, is you know who you're fighting, you know what it's going to be like. Yeah, there's a build up, and there's trash talking this and that, but the idea is that you prepare yourself well enough throughout that time that you have a good game plan and you should go in and try to be able to implement it. I mean, obviously, if the other person implements their plan better than you, well, guess what? You're going to lose. But again, who knows? Maybe it was just that they let their emotion dictate what was going to come out versus what their game plan was. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was a psychological game, or maybe it was this whole the aura that Ronda Rousey built.
Right.
that made her look like she was indestructible, and they were all like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking go out there and fuck this bitch up. So they got a little overzealous. They got caught in a range that they shouldn't have been caught in, and guess what? All of a sudden you get armbarred. So, but again, my point is that, Ronda didn't have that same situation going into fighting Holly Holm. She had everything to lose, where Holm had everything to gain. She really didn't have a name. It's not like she had built this aura of invincibility, nothing like that. Ronda comes in and she gets completely decimated. So not only was it the physical part of it, Holm was just maybe stronger psychologically also, because she didn't let that shit get to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So obviously, the lead up to it, or the build up to it, and I've told you this before, again, my fight experience is very, very limited, but those few weeks prior to the event, I'm all over the fucking place.
Right.
So would you say there are other fighters that have that level of influence over a fight before a fight?
Yes.
That Holly Holm,
Absolutely.
What's her name?
And not just, obviously we're focusing on the UFC.
Rousey, right.
We're focusing on the UFC, but some of the names that I follow in the Muay Thai world, for instance, Yod Sanklai, John Wayne Parr, Buakaw.
But I'm talking about in the women's, because we're talking about like who's. We're talking about, does Rousey
Cyborg
deserve it, right?
Cyborg.
So
She hasn't had
you
the
would say that Cyborg has that kind of a personality, that kind of a preparation, that kind of really just like the way that she presents herself and the way that she puts herself out, that she can influence a fight before it begins over Rousey.
That girl, yeah, for sure. If you can call her a girl.
Liking at this point, the fight already started. What's the name?
Paige Van Zandt and Michelle Waterson.
Yeah.
Paige Van Zandt and
Waterson?
Paige the Karate Hottie Waterson.
Hottie Waterson. Well, I like her side step coming forward and then punching. She's kind of.
Who was that?
Cogging, Paige Van Zandt every time she's
good.
That.
She's
She's
good
doing
fighter.
that.
I don't know much about them.
Karate style kind of.
Is Van Zandt more a stand-up striker or more a stand-up artist?
Yes.
Oh,
very
nice.
nice.
When are we playing poker again?
I don't know, maybe in a couple of weeks, man. Holy shit, that was a nice fucking throw.
That was a nice throw.
Michelle Waterson just got the.
I told you guys how I
takedown,
won.
shoulder
already
throw,
has a
Paige
triangle.
Van Zandt.
Triangle, yeah.
She's got the body triangle in there.
I told you guys how I won $800 at the Seminole, right? I think I told you about it. I hit 4 queens.
Oh yeah, you did tell me about that.
Yeah, I was able to hit 4 queens on one of the
Paige Van
jackpots
Zandt is in
right
trouble right now.
before the timer ran out.
She's got the rear naked choke in there.
She's
I didn't
going up
quite
for
realize what was going
She's
on.
about to choke her
And Frank kind of.
It's under the chin
set it
too.
up.
She's done.
She's done.
So I hit
She's
4
passing out.
queens.
She's done.
No.
And the payout was $800.
Oh, she defended it.
She's good. She's still good. She's using the
Oh
fence.
shit. Oh no, she's still getting it. She's defending the correct way though.
Yeah.
She's fighting the non-choking one, which is what she's supposed to do.
Look at it. It's 2-1 fighter. Come on.
Uh-oh.
It's 2 women.
Oh, she's got it there now again. Paige Van Zandt might
She's
be
out.
done.
She's out. It
No,
looks like
she's not out
out.
yet. No, she's not. She's still in. Holy shit.
Oh,
She's a
my
fucking
Lord,
beast.
Dude.
I can't believe she hasn't tapped out yet.
I can't believe she hasn't caught
She's
up.
got it locked. She's done. She's out.
That's it, she's out.
Holy shit.
She was out. Wow.
Damn, that
good.
was, she fucking held on for a long time.
Wow. And all started with it looked like
It looked almost like a Serai, like
like
a shoulder throw.
yeah. Kind of looked like
It looked like shoulder, but I think it was from the head.
Yeah.
I think she had her head and threw her. I don't know if she had her shoulder. I didn't see. Let's see the replay
Yes.
whenever it gets brought up. Okay, so Michelle Waterson beat Paige Van Zandt with a rear naked choke. Koshiguruma,
Oh wow.
which is basically a head throw. That was fucking nice.
Very nice transition to the back.
She gets the body. She gets the hooks in.
Triangle right, pretty much right away.
Yeah, and then she just kept working it until she got the rear naked choke.
Yeah.
To her credit, Van Zandt didn't tap.
Yes.
She freaking held on
She
like a
fought,
beast.
yeah, to the very
So
end.
David and I were talking
Oh, she passed out.
about.
She almost passed out. She didn't quite pass out. The referee stopped it, but he knew.
She was going to.
Yeah, she was going to.
She wasn't moving anymore.
Yeah.
So what were you saying? Juan?
Was that round 1?
I was telling David that
Yeah, bro.
once Florida becomes Florida, that I'm gonna move to Vegas.
Yeah, I heard you say that before. That might be a good plan,
It's
man.
gonna be the best thing. Man.
So
How close is
Vegas.
Vegas to the coast too, though?
Tell me what. Okay,
thing with Vegas.
First of all,
fuck. It's gonna be
here's the
100
thing.
It's 120 degrees now. It's gonna be 140 degrees by the time this bitch is flooded.
so I don't know how it was when you went to Vegas, but when I went to Vegas, I went out late.
Did you go, Chris?
Yeah. So when I went to Vegas, I remember going out at a time where if we went out in Miami, it would be like everybody would be out partying. But like we out there and we're like, where the hell is everybody?
What time did you go?
Depends.
Like 1 in the morning, like 1 or 2 in the
Those
morning.
people were probably there like
What-
at 3 or
what
4
night,
in the
though?
morning.
What night?
No,
1 in the morning. what
you can
night?
go out every night. Come on, Miami, you can go out
that's the
any
thing- that's the
night,
thing, though. It's just a
and
little
people
different
are out
flavor
there,
to it.
out there partying. Bar, new
You know what it is?
strip clubs.
The locals in
Like
Vegas
she
don't
was,
go out.
she was disappointed in the strip clubs.
Here's the problem.
Like, the strip clubs here,
It's not the same.
and I'm not a strip club guy, but it's like,
Yeah, I can tell you.
you know,
it's not the
the whole idea.
Um,
So you go to Las Vegas is supposed to be the capital of party in the world, and it just seems to me like casinos. We got casinos here.
Yeah,
We got everything here that Vegas has, but better.
Well, okay, better in some ways, yes. But again, you're saying that you didn't feel like people were out there when you guys went out, regardless of whatever night, regardless of whatever time you went in the year.
Really?
Because the locals don't go out. One of my best friends
I want
lives
to
out
get to that particular point.
But
'cause it's
although
5
he's never
minutes,
really
but
been the
it
type
says
to
it
go
like
out, he doesn't go out there regardless. He doesn't know. I don't think he knows very many people that live out there that actually
Get
go
the
out
fuck out of here.
to the strip and stuff like that. They just don't go out. Down here, it's a little different. People actually
Yeah.
like to get away from everything else. So yeah, we'll go to the beach. But that's the difference too. There's the beach. Vegas doesn't have a beach. Vegas is a
I love
fucking
the
desert.
beach.
So again, why would you want to go to Vegas?
Because we're gonna be flooded, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Because we're gonna be underwater.
And
Well, I was telling you guys
who
about
says Campbell
that.
wants to go out every night. How often
Okay.
do you go out?
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that I'm not the type of person to go out every night. So Vegas is kind of like that's good because I can go out whenever I want to, and I know it's gonna be. I think I'll have a good time every time that I would go out.
Yeah, we need
regardless of what night it is.
We need to start thinking about
Just
moving
like
out of
down
Florida.
Just like down here,
I know.
just like down here, I'm not gonna move to freaking Savannah or some shit. Savannah, Georgia.
Who the fuck would want to move to Savannah?
Time out. Because I gotta go back
For
to the
school.
whole. I gotta go back to what we were talking about before, as far as fighting and Ronda Rousey, and the point that I brought up about Mike Tyson talking about Muhammad Ali. I found the video. Anyway, you might want to go back to it. I don't know if you want to be able to play this on yours, but they ask Tyson, okay, if you fought Ali in his prime and you were in your
Yeah,
prime.
Tyson. Yeah,
And Tyson's like, well, you know, Ali did this, and you know, he moved like he wasn't really very fast, but he moved really fast, and he did this, and he was very, you know, sneaky in the way he talked, and you know, even in the psychological games and all that shit. He's like, and he was very evasive and so forth. He's like, fuck no, you fucking crazy? No way, I wouldn't even fucking try. Like he was just like he was very humble about the whole thing.
sure, yeah.
You know, but obviously this is somebody who really understands the game, and then he really is very humble about the whole thing. And if you there's another interview with Mike Tyson where they ask him, you know, okay, so what is it like for you in the lead up to the fight? And he's like, okay, when I'm in the locker room, I'm scared shitless. Like he's like, I'm so scared. I don't know what that man's gonna do to me. He's gonna fucking kill me. He's gonna do this or this or that. And he says, the closer and the closer I get to the ring, the more confident I become. The more I'm like, you know, the switch flips, and then it starts to change your perception. Because then at that point, whatever work you've already done, whatever work you've already put in, it's already done. All you gotta do is go out there and leave it in the ring. So, you know, he had this thing that he did that allowed him to flip the switch from being like, holy shit, I can't even believe I'm fucking about to do this, and not knowing whether he can even win or survive, to getting into the ring and being like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy.
Right.
And it's at that point where, like David was saying, was that you beat the guy before you've even thrown a punch. You've already demoralized them so much just by the way you look at them, or the way that you move, or the way that you stand, that block Miami touchdown. So anyway, you've already basically won the fight before the person's even walked into the ring or done anything. So again, the psychological thing plays a big part of it.
I hope the flag's against the
fucking
Jets.
the physical part of it is with 10%. It's 90% psychological. You know what I mean? I think it's people think it's more, it's physically more, and yeah, it's physically taxing, but the psychological part is way more of a factor, I think, to be honest. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Back to
So who do you believe more, Tyson or Muhammad Ali? Who has, and this is just out of curiosity, really, like, who has the more knowledge and the more wherewithal to be able to evaluate that kind of a hypothetical situation and be more accurate? Because each of them was very humble, and each of them basically said that the other would defeat, that they would. So Muhammad Ali is of the mindset that Tyson would have beat him, while Tyson would have said what Tyson said Muhammad Ali would have beat him.
Honestly, I think they're just both being very nice about each other. I think they just have a lot of respect for each other.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I don't think that, I don't think, whether or not one believes one thing or the other, I don't think they would necessarily go out and be like, yeah, I would have fucked that motherfucker up. No, it wouldn't be that way.
No, but maybe they would have just said, like, I think that I would have won.
I don't know. I think that just has more just with the mutual respect part of it. You know what I mean? Who knows? Because they're both very different gamesmen in the sense that Muhammad Ali was the biggest shit talker ever. Mike Tyson,
so why wouldn't he do that?
Shit, but it was more. It was different. It was more his image, and it was more like, I mean, this guy was gonna fucking tear your heart out.
Mm-hmm.
Where Ali was just more like, he would like pick on you and like more, like. More
demoralized.
Demoralized in the sense of, like make fun of you or, shit like that. Where Tyson was out to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the way that they approached the game was very, very different. And physically, Tyson was much more intimidating.
Right.
I mean, again, Ali was a specimen, but.
So what do you think? Who do you think? Like, if you took them both in your prime?
Fuck, I would go with Ali. I think. More because he was more of a technical fighter. Not to say that Tyson didn't have technique either, but he was definitely much more of a brawler and more of an inside fighter than Ali was.
All right.
Go for it.
You remember just showing me a picture of 50 Cent with a bucket.
It's
a huge container of like marijuana. What is the picture about?
It's probably him in like a dispensary or like some sort of some sort of like
Is he getting into that business?
Holy shit!
I mean, I'm sure he is.
He'd be smart too.
When you said a bucket, I was thinking like a bucket.
No, like a container.
This is fucking like one of those like 50-gallon containers.
Yeah, plastic containers
that you put your laundry in.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I have.
Holy shit!
It's pretty awesome.
Wow.
I wanted to touch something that we say at the beginning. I wanted to know about the Star Wars movie. What do you guys think?
A new one?
Yes.
I saw it this morning.
Well, Guillermo saw it this morning, so like I said, like I was talking about earlier, he can maybe give us a. I know he's a fucking.
Hey, man, hey, listen.
You didn't say anything after we were talking about it.
Hang on.
No.
Every time you guys go want to fucking watch a movie, we can't make up our mind. I don't know what day to go. Is it going to be the week after? Is it going to be 10 days later? Is it going to be 2 days?
No.
Listen,
Tonight.
I don't give a fuck. I'm going to watch it probably more than once. And I'm gonna want to watch it when I want to watch it because I don't have kids and I don't have fucking anything to tie me down or anything like that.
To my defense, I said I wanted to go today, and they said, "Yeah, I'm ready to go."
But by the time you said you were ready to go, I was already leaving the movie. So that's why I didn't say anything.
But then David's like, "Oh, I'll go see it Monday morning."
He said that yesterday.
If you had told me you were going to go see it this morning,
that's it. The group is broken. I'm gonna go on my own.
Okay, well,
David and I are starting our own group chat.
Okay, anyway, I mean,
my biggest problem is not the times when I can go to the movies. It's I never go because I don't have anybody to go with. I don't want to be that one lone person in the movie.
You mean like you're
Well,
it's shit.
I guess
It's fucking awesome. I don't have to worry about anybody else.
Well, that's probably what I'm going to do on Monday. I'm going to go see the Stars.
But I also wait more often than not for the reserved seating showings.
Anyway, fuck, I'm already
So
on.
for
Party folk.
RPX and stuff.
Anyway, you were asking like what our impressions were. I mean, none of us have seen the movie except for Guillermo. What are your impressions based on the preview?
Did you see it?
No, I haven't
Or based
seen
on
it.
the trailer?
I read that a lot of people like it because it's very different. It's very different to go on.
Okay.
Look, this is what I'll say. Go ahead, Dave.
I will say.
Well, tell us your review. You already saw it.
Let Dave say.
I will tell you what I heard about it.
Okay.
I heard that Kevin Smith saw it early, and that he said it was as good as Empire.
Yeah, I actually saw his podcast about
and he says it's as good as.
Oh my goodness! All the
every time
great stuff that he says about.
Every time that like a new movie or like a side movie comes out, I like trying to trace back to what the other ones were. I don't remember much of them. Not enough. I'd want to see them again.
But what's actually good about this one is that they're connecting with the
Rebels, right? Of course, yeah. Listen. The whole thing is
cartoon series that they have, and they're connecting kind of characters they have.
Did it?
And they have some like hints.
Obviously they're tying everything together, which is a smart thing to do. You don't want to just do like a random Star Wars story for whatever reason. The way it's tied in, it's cool. There's about 3 battle scenes, if I remember correctly.
I heard they're pretty phenomenal.
They are incredible, and yeah, when Darth comes out, you just want to bust him up.
Wait, who comes out?
Darth Vader comes out.
Oh, okay.
He's got 2 scenes. I'll just say that.
I like the sound of the way you described the way that it's filmed and all that stuff.
Well,
I want something different.
Or I heard that it was more a war
movie.
movie as opposed to more like of an adventure movie. You know what I mean? Where like I feel like maybe the original trilogy and even the prequels were more of an adventure.
Yeah, because there's
where this is more like gritty battle scenes. There's a war going on. You know what I mean?
There's definitely a lot more. The way you'll feel connected to the characters, in my opinion, is the outcome of the movie. No
spoilers, by the way. No spoilers.
I'm not spoiling.
I know. I'm just
saying. The outcome of the movie will make you realize that you had some sort of connection to the characters.
Okay.
I'll say that.
And the other
tell me everything. I want to know the movie
right now.
Scene to scene.
Yoda, fucking is the man. But everybody
like he picks up all the
everybody always, yep. Nice. Picks a little young.
What a lot of people are asking themselves too is what's going on with Ben Kenobi? It's like
they haven't talked.
Nobody has talked to you about it, and they haven't talked about this movie about Obi-Wan.
No, not Obi-Wan. They're supposed to be doing a Han Solo movie.
Yeah, they're doing a Han Solo movie.
Okay, but nobody has talked about Obi-Wan Kenobi movies, and a lot of people want his story or things like that. What I have heard of what is coming of the new, the trilogy, the new trilogy they're making about
7, 8, and 9. You mean?
7, 8, and 9. He's gonna have a bigger role in this movie that are coming up.
This isn't mine.
So one of the theories is that it could be.
I've been thinking.
It could be that Rey is part Kenobi.
I've heard that before too.
So it kind of actually makes sense because they're actually saying that Rey doesn't have no Skywalker blood. Well, it's not related.
I've read that as well.
If you watch the Clone Wars, which is canon now, he has that relationship with the Mandalorian, Chancellor, I think she is, or basically the person who rules over Mandalorian.
I
He
gotta
has
go
a
back and watch that. I
relationship.
haven't seen it.
He has a
And
relationship.
she dies.
And she dies.
She
right?
dies on it.
She gets killed.
Yeah.
And there are, some people believe that it's their daughter.
Yeah.
The two of them
I'm
have a
hearing
daughter.
that theory, and actually to know that they actually confirmed that she's not a Skywalker.
Son Dolphins.
So
I think she's
so
too
here,
young to be that, though.
so hearing you guys talk about all these shows and all that stuff.
About Star Wars? It's not a show.
No, or well,
I guess
that
I guess
part.
it's partly
Are
a
you
show.
serious?
The Clone Wars is a show,
Yeah.
right?
That's true.
So like you guys talk about the Clone Wars and all the shows that are on Netflix and whatnot, and it just brings to mind to me like how sometimes people like talk about how they don't have time for stuff.
Who says they don't have time for stuff?
Like no, I'm talking about in general.
Oh,
Like I'm talking about in general. Like
to
people,
tell you the truth,
a lot of
I
times.
haven't watched many of the Clone Wars. I only watched like 5 episodes or 6 episodes. But the thing is that I read what is happening. And that's what I do. I read the episodes through blogs and things like that, what is happening, because I don't have time to like watch it, because most of the time when I'm at
But a lot
work,
of people do.
when
A
I'm,
lot of people watch a lot of people watch like seasons of this show, like Walking Dead, or like I mean I saw the 2 seasons of Daredevil and I thought that show was great, but like all these shows that people watch, and then like you hear like people all talk about all the time about how they don't have time for stuff.
It's because they're fucking
Like it just like I don't know about you guys, but it's just like I just
So
think
what's your point? Your point is
My point is, like, why do people-
say they don't have any
why do
time when
people
they
say they
watch all these shows?
Yeah, why do they complain about not having time when they want all these weird shit?
yeah, like what do you guys think about that?
Oh, I didn't realize.
Hold on.
Like am I the only one that's wondering kind of like, what are you talking about? Like,
Well-
what do you mean you don't have time?
No, you're not the only one.
Okay, so going back to Star Wars.
We don't have time to talk about it.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I had read about her possibly being a Kenobi. What do you guys think about Supreme Leader Snoke? Who is he?
I've heard a couple
I've
different
read
rumors.
I've read he might be Mace Windu.
Oh, wow.
I read that too.
Who are all these people?
I also read that.
Samuel L. Jackson, the Jedi.
Okay.
I also heard that he might even be Darth Maul, because Darth
Really?
Maul is still alive.
Oh, well,
I hadn't read that.
He's been in both Clone Wars.
Oh, I want to
No,
see him.
no.
I want to see him. As
He's been in
Darth
both
Maul.
Clone Wars and he's been
Okay.
in Rebels.
but in the comic books, something happened to him. I forgot. I don't.
Are
I
the
don't think
comic
he
books canon
This
now?
guy with 3 touchdowns.
Yes.
Remember, Disney got
they
rid of a
throw away
bunch of stuff.
shit.
No, it's new.
The new series, like the Vader series.
Yeah, I think he appears on it in like 2 episodes or something like that. I don't
Fact
know.
check.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I read something about it, and they're saying that explains why he disappears from like the TV series, and that episode that he disappears. And
But he was
appears.
in recently in Rebels.
I know, but they say he disappears after that.
Oh,
Okay,
who knows?
they don't know
Okay,
what
well,
happens to him.
Okay, so I've heard that it could be Mace Windu. Somebody said some stupid shit about it being Vader again.
No.
I was like, that's not possible.
Somebody,
Um,
the clone of the Emperor, first clone, because they had messed around with him having clones before.
I
Yeah,
haven't
I don't
read.
believe
I
that's
haven't read
canon.
enough
I haven't
about
read
him.
that. I'm
So,
trying to think
I
who
don't
else he
know.
said that it might be.
Might be who?
Who else? Supreme Leader Snoke, who he might be.
No. What did David just say?
The clone of the Emperor. I mean, I guess, but doesn't quite seem like it.
I don't know. I don't know who it could be. To be honest, I don't think it's anyone.
Jarvis.
I think
I've
it's
heard,
somebody new, maybe.
as far as Rogue One, I mean, I had read that that it was very good. That there's a few things about it, obviously, that maybe don't make it as good as some of the older movies. And I read also something, or I heard somebody say something about that there's a particular character that's done in CG that they really couldn't do any other way, so that they might have had a bit of an issue with the way that they did
Who
that
gives
character.
a shit?
I don't know. I haven't
Well,
seen it, so I don't know.
that's all I know.
I have a guess.
All that's all
You
I
know,
know.
Snoke's not
What's
going to
your
be
guess?
CG next
What's your
movie.
guess?
I don't want to say because because I just don't want to say.
You don't want to
Doesn't-
tell us who you think Snoke is?
No, not Snoke.
The whole
That whole CG character in
that
Rogue
they
One.
messed up thing. It was Jar Jar Binks. Fucking
You're such an
destroyed
asshole.
Jar Jar Binks.
It's not true to the character.
What do you mean, man? That guy was
Is he
cool.
really a Sith Lord? That's the other theory that
Yes,
Sith Lord.
yes, they should have done that.
Is he Emperor Snoke?
Yes.
I think they should have gone through with that, man.
There's that theory there.
No, they're
It's Snoke.
That would have been great. No, they took it out, but it would have
That's
been
only because
great.
George Lucas didn't want to go through with it.
Exactly, because
Jar Jar Binks is
he got scared. He
Yeah,
got
he pussied
scared.
Yeah, he pussied out.
They should have gone through with it, man. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, he pussied out.
I think it was perfect. Like, have you seen that video?
Yes.
Your dog is
It would have been perfect.
Stop talking.
He just didn't. All he had to do was just like put up with a little bit like of hate and just like go through with it, and then people would.
Well, you know what? It
like,
might have
oh,
made
man.
going through episode 1 and 2 worth
It would have been worth it, yeah. And that's why it was failure.
Yeah.
That's why people hated it so much.
It's funny because like
I think really like honestly. So
Oh wow, he almost caught it.
so like to go back to that, like, yeah, man, like I think that's the whole reason that it was
Love it.
that
I
it
love
was
it.
that it ended up being the way that it was, is that he just didn't go through with it. Like
it's funny that
it was
look
built
at that.
up.
We come back full circle. We're talking about Star Wars again.
It was built up that way. It was built up in a certain way to turn out a certain way, and then it got changed midway, and maybe that's what really like messed up the whole thing.
So that was pretty funny. We started talking about Star Wars, then we went to Trump, then we went to fucking UFC, Dolphins. What else did we fucking talk about?
We can talk about anything.
And then we talked about Star Wars again. We went back to Star Wars again.
Wait, what?
We sit on UFC for way too long.
Oh man.
Yeah, we should talk wrestling, no?
Yeah. WWE.
Or your big idol, Lesnar. He was suspended. Lesnar is suspended. And fined.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Does he
man.
care?
He doesn't give a shit.
Lesnar.
You think he's gonna fight again?
Nah, I don't think he will fight again.
The previews were good. Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Good thing to bring up. I like
Galaxy.
Spider-Man
Guardians
Homecoming.
of the Galaxy.
What's so great about Spider-Man
here we go.
Homecoming?
I think they played the character better. I think
Okay,
I think he was more like what he was meant to be.
I do like that actor.
That he's in the Marvel universe. That's the best part about
I like the eyes. I like
Yeah,
his eyes.
I do like
Yeah,
that.
Because it makes it
I
it
hate
makes
when
it.
people say that they don't like that. That's just
I
awesome.
love that, man, because it makes it so much more expensive. That was one of the things about Spider-Man that I liked, is that it made him have some kind of-
Yes,
Kinda like that.
those other
Kinda like
Spider-Man,
Deadpool. I was just gonna say that. Kind of like
those other Spider-Man look like Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like they look like Power Ranger
Is that
characters.
Zac Efron that's in the Power Rangers movie? Because that looks like a Zac Efron. I don't know.
Anyway,
No, so-
I liked it a lot. I thought he played it well. I don't know that I like.
Baywatch.
At least from what
Like The Rock.
from what
Like
I've
the
seen in the preview and the Homecoming.
Back to
Trailer,
wrestling.
I'm just hoping they don't have Iron Man in it too much.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they don't either.
Because then it becomes not so much a Spider-Man.
No. What I heard is that they're putting Iron Man just because they want to tie the story with
Right, to the
whole
MCU.
Avenger,
Yeah, I'm sure he's just probably in
And that's
like,
about
the
it.
beginning.
He only has like
probably two or three scenes.
Three scenes with
Yeah.
him, and that's about it.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's all about
Michael Keaton's the man.
The one thing that the other thing that I wasn't crazy about necessarily was the Vulture seemed very Green Goblin-ish to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
I only saw like a
got that
glimpse of it,
impression.
and I saw the same.
It was very
I
reminiscent.
actually thought before I actually read, and I just saw a glimpse of it. I thought it was the same.
That's my boy. Run it.
Oh, nice!
Nice.
What?
Keep it down. Dolphins
So-
touchdown again.
Of his touchdown game.
Nice win.
And I'm guessing
33 to 10. Oh my
the whole
goodness.
spectacle, Guillermo, he was his guy that he
You gotta
picked
dance
for
in
his
front of the
fantasy.
camera, bro.
Yes, he's doing his dancing.
I think, or maybe he's just really happy that Dolphins are actually playing well, because like, man,
That was like an 80-yard touchdown.
Okay, so anyway, back
That
to
was good.
Homecoming again. Back to Homecoming from an intermission. No, whoever was talking about? I don't remember.
Oh, I guess
Homecoming.
You were saying about the reminiscence of Green.
Oh yeah, that he like that one scene where he's kind of coming down from the ceiling. It almost looks like he's got the hoverboard under him. It just again looks
Yeah,
very
kinda.
Green Goblin-ish. It's another
Yes.
like techno villain, type thing. So I'm hoping that they do something.
He's not the only villain who is in the movie.
Yeah,
No?
the Shocker's in it too.
Is he?
The Shocker is on it too.
I had no idea. I
Yeah,
didn't
he
know.
appears on the trailer. You see
does?
him go. Yes.
Yeah.
You see him.
Really? I'll have to
Yes.
go back and watch that shit again.
Yeah, it's just like a second, like, and
I had no idea.
There's pictures online of him in his costume.
Really?
Really?
Mhm.
I haven't seen the pictures, but I seen the one you're talking about, the Shocker.
Well, the whole thing is there's another somewhat villain is the guy who makes all these things for the villains.
Yeah.
There's talk
Oh,
because
that's right. There's another one.
When
I think it's the Tinker.
the
No,
Tinker, yeah.
The Tinker is the one
So when,
that is on
when
the
the movie
too.
starts, you see the bank
So
robbers, and they're opening stuff up with these like specialized things.
Uh-huh.
And the
So
Shocker,
the
you see-
Tinker is the guy who's behind all their weapons from the
Yes.
from the Vulture and
4 touchdowns.
So,
Wow.
it's good.
Look at that. Tannehill's gonna stay benched.
I
So-
like this. Don't you like this? That I'm bringing characters that we haven't seen on these movies.
Yes.
Because
I would like them to-
Spider-Man has a broad of like.
He has a ton of villains.
He's got so many villains that they could go with. But the good thing is that they're just not rehashing them. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's
that's
that-
another good thing. That's
what
I like.
what I'm hoping also is that they either don't bring it up or whatever origin story they limit it to like nothing, because I don't want to see the origin story a third time.
Yeah,
The second time
that's
I
what
was
they
like, I
say.
don't need
That's
the
what they
origin
say.
story.
I don't think they're bringing that up.
I don't think so either, but I just
Really?
I
Like,
that's something to-
how did Spider-Man become Spider-Man?
Come on.
I really want to know.
You want to know
For the fucking 50th
It's kind
time.
of like whenever you watch anything to do with Batman, they
Yeah.
have to tell his
Yes.
story. I mean, like,
Yes, even in the freaking even in Batman versus Superman.
You know why?
Are you serious?
because they
Martha.
had because they had
Because
to put
Martha.
Martha team on it. Yeah.
Because
Martha saved
Martha-
Superman's life.
Yes.
Wait, spoiler alert.
Yeah. If you haven't watched.
If you haven't watched Batman versus Superman,
like David, you just watched.
You watched
I
it
just watched it. Yeah.
like a week ago.
I wonder
Like,
if
less the 2 weeks, no?
Yes.
Probably.
I wonder if Ben
I
Affleck.
think it was earlier this week, wasn't it? Like Monday that I was complaining about
You
it.
haven't seen it yet, right?
No.
Is Ben Affleck to Batman when Nicolas Cage is to Ghost Rider?
No, I wouldn't say so.
No,
I wouldn't go. So
Why
far.
Nicolas Cage?
I wouldn't go so far as to say that.
So for
He was
people-
definitely a much better
For
Batman
people that
than
don't know,
Nicolas Cage.
for people that don't know and they're hearing this, Raul is a big fan of Ghost Rider, and watching that movie with Nicolas Cage has scarred him for life.
It ruined my whole life. It ruined my childhood.
There we go.
How? So, what's up with food pictures on Instagram and Facebook?
What's up?
What about it?
What about it?
What's up with food pictures? What's up with that?
People want to show off.
Like, really, what's up with that? Like, I've wondered for years.
It is funny when somebody
gay.
puts a food picture and you know it looks horrible. Like
I don't want to eat that.
like no, I'm saying have you ever seen pictures of salads? And sometimes it looks nice, bright colors, a very nice amount. But some people put like salad and they put like extremely a lot of oil, so it looks very soggy. This thing, and they're like, "Oh, I'm eating healthy today."
Like, it's
I'm like, I don't even want
I
to
haven't
eat that.
seen
I don't
that.
even want to eat that. Why are you even showing me that?
That's funny. like, are you a chef? Like, what?
So
I don't know how that got started, where people wanted to show what they were eating. I think it's kind of silly, but whatever.
Like, I mean, I want to try to
I just don't
understand.
show anything anyway. I mean, I'm showing my shoes on my fucking Instagram. Come on, man.
And your socks. I
And your
really
socks.
like it.
My
Solid
life
socks.
shirts.
and you're having Star Wars socks today.
There's the Life brand and
The Star Wars
Like-
socks.
another
category.
sponsored by Life.
Sponsored by Life.
Actually, I like those
Mike,
socks
get out
that
of
you're
it.
wearing. I actually like those socks that
Yeah,
you
man.
had.
Star Wars ones.
I bought.
The Star
I have
Wars.
4 pairs.
Yeah, you show us the
Actually, those are the
No, I
stance
bought
socks.
a
my bad.
new pair. I bought the new pair with
No flag? Yes.
with what's his name with Finn
That came out to
and
play
and the
you know,
pirate.
they- holy shit.
Oh, I can't remember right now.
You should get the kids Disney
Oh.
from Stance.
Attack on Titan season 2 is coming out.
I haven't finished season 1 yet, man.
What?
Oh, wow.
Oh, I think Ray watches that.
Sometimes you nerd out so hard, Raul.
You have no idea.
Dude, Attack on Titan.
Oh, this guy. Every time I walk into this guy's fucking.
He talks about Attack on Titan?
Zen of,
No.
Zen of peace. He's always watching anime.
What?
Anime all day.
One Piece and there was what's the other one?
What?
One Piece is fun.
One Piece, right? Don't you watch One Piece?
One Piece is awesome.
And Naruto.
Naruto is awesome.
I caught him watching Oritsuki Doji while being into it.
That brings back some memories.
It's a badass
Or
movie.
Tsukidoji.
I left the door cracked open on
I
purpose.
still remember the very first anime I saw was Fist of the North Star.
That was a badass.
That was amazing.
That was a fucking
Fist of
great
the
movie.
North Star.
That was amazing. How
That was
as
the very
crazy and
first one I
insane and retarded it was. It was amazing.
I don't know if I've asked Guillermo. I don't know if I asked Guillermo. Jose remembers it, and when I brought it up to you, you didn't remember it. But after we watched Fist of
I
the
didn't
North
like
Star,
Akira that much. Right?
Jose and I were sitting in his room. We were watching. I think we might have been playing Street Fighter or something.
As
And here
usual.
comes
That's like
Raul.
we ever
He
did.
busts into the bedroom with pillows stuffed inside his shirt, so his shirt was real big. And he looks. He looks at me and Jose, and he's like, "I'm Raul."
And I don't even remember that.
I think I do remember.
Oh,
I don't even remember.
I can't believe you're the one who doesn't remember.
She was hilarious.
That is awesome.
Oh, we were dying.
Fucking, that was, dude. Yeah, I don't know how many times I watched that movie, man. If it's an show, we watched
We watched a lot of movies over and over again. Breakfast Club. Remember, we used to know all the words to Breakfast Club. We used to like.
Yeah, you guys got me with that not too long. I'm like, what the hell are these guys talking about?
You never
You're like,
you saw the
I
Breakfast
did.
Club.
I've seen the Breakfast Club plenty of times, but I don't know it line for line.
We used to watch it every single day.
Yeah. You know what?
Every single day.
Another one.
We used to watch Beauty and the Beast every single day.
Another one that used to watch every
Aladdin.
single day was fucking the Never-Ending Story.
I don't know. What?
Never-Ending Story.
The Never-Ending Story.
Dude,
that fucking
Story,
horse.
watch that movie every fucking day.
That upset you.
That horse.
Scared in that movie.
Dude, that movie was that
And
part
that
with the
creepy
horse,
ass
with
fucking
Ortex, that part with Ortex dying in the
Yeah.
swamp
His
is
turtle,
like
wasn't
fucking
it?
traumatizing.
Huh?
The turtle was in the swamp.
Morla,
Oh, you're thinking
Morla.
of the dragon on what's his name? Falcor.
Falcor.
Fucking Morla.
It had scales. It was so disgusting. Like, what the hell is this? Like this furry thing with scales? Like, you can't have both. It either has fur or it has scales. You can't have both.
It's like a dog.
It was a dog with scales.
It was a dog with psoriasis.
It was a dog snake scale. Dog
Look at
dog snake.
Look at-
It was a dragon dog.
It's a
right,
luck
but
dragon.
look at
It's a what?
look at Asian
That's what it is,
dragons. They
Huh?
do look at Asian dragons. They have fur and they have scales.
Yeah, that's true. He's right.
Yeah, but they're not as gross for some reason.
No,
Like, he
because
really
usually
grossed
they're
me
just
out.
drawings.
Hang on,
They're
man.
not.
Moore's playing. Wait a second. With the handoff and Jai gets knocked
because
out.
those dragons weren't real.
Oh, and Falcor is real.
Falcor is real.
So other movies that we watched over and over and over. What else?
We watched a lot. We watched. We watched a lot of
Kickboxer and
movies.
Bloodsport.
We watched
Kickboxer and
a
Bloodsport.
lot of
Anything
the
with Van
Disney
Damme. Well,
movies.
back in the day, Van Damme was like the figure,
I did put
like
the new Kickboxer on my Netflix.
Did you watch it?
anybody. It was the Rock.
I watched it.
of that day.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah.
I was giving you guys like play by play. Remember, I said it was awesome because there is a GSP, Rob Van Dam. Jean-Claude Van Damme fight.
That's
in
fucking
it.
cool.
And I'm like, you know what?
I'm gonna have to
I don't
watch
even
just
care
for
if the
that.
fight's good, just because those two
That's
are
right.
fighting. I was
It
like,
makes
this
the movie
is
awesome.
Yeah, you
That's all you
you
need.
guys talk about the movie, no?
Yeah, I
What
watched
is
it.
What is the movie name?
Kickboxer
Kickboxer.
Vengeance.
Kickboxer.
Avengers.
Yeah, but it's basically a reboot of the old
Oh, it's
Kickboxer.
Oh, they're all
It's
Kickboxer.
Kickboxer Vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like the scene where he's like kicking that tree.
that's not even the right type of tree, man. That's why he fucked up his leg.
But
You mean in the
scene
original one?
Yeah,
The scene that fucked me up was the scene where like somebody gets kicked in the leg and then like the bone just like comes.
that was Bloodsport.
That was
Bloodsport, not Kickboxer. Yeah, it was okay. So Bloodsport, Kickboxer. What else did we fucking watch?
What did we watch?
I watched the Street Fighter movie a lot. Not the live action one. Let me defend myself.
Yeah, the anime.
The anime.
The anime.
Street Fighter 2.
Actually watching.
yeah, Street
I have,
Fighter 2.
Transformers movie.
I have
The Transformers
watched,
movie?
I have watched just
You got touch.
less than a month ago. I watched it again, and it still holds up.
It does.
It still
does.
holds up.
I still like
Street
it.
Fighter movie. Yeah, Street Fighter 2 anime.
Not that, again, not that,
Let's be clear. We're talking about Street Fighter 2, the animated movie.
Yes, of
the
course.
anime.
Because we're gonna get rain about.
And you know what? And I gotta say that. And since we brought the Street
Well,
Fighter 2
Van Damme was
movie
in
up,
Street Fighter.
I gotta say
No,
that
not that one.
that movie, along with like a couple of other animes, I prefer to watch them subtitled because the voice acting is so bad.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Like watching the Street Fighter 2 animated movie with
I think
with
he's
the
inside,
subtitles is so much better. I used to Dragon Ball Z. I used to like so much better too when it was subtitled. When I used to watch it subtitled, it was just so much better.
He's here.
He's inside.
Yeah, he's right there, dude.
What else do I like to watch subtitled, man?
The dog is like, what, dude?
Just about any anime is better subtitled.
Oh, yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with
Oh,
that.
because you have to hear the.
It just
The actors
acting is
don't
much-
sound cheap.
acting is so much better.
Yeah.
There's so much more
Are you-
emotion to
Are
it.
you
There's
guys
so much less
hired already?
robotic.
No.
But English voice
Yes.
actors, when they dub them, are usually just pretty terrible.
Ghost in the Shell. What's up with Ghost in the Shell?
Oh, I want to see that.
But
what do you mean?
I mean, Scarlett Johansson,
Scarlett
yeah.
Johansson. You have to
Well,
watch
yeah,
But
Which
I mean, I
question
don't
are
even
you
care.
asking about?
Like,
But have you watched the
What
Ghost
is
in the
it?
Shell? There's so many movies on it.
Well,
I remember
the
that.
original.
there's
theatrical-
there's series also.
There's a
The
series. I'm talking about
and
the
then
movie.
there's a couple movies about it.
Yes.
I'm talking about the original theatrical movie.
I think that which one are they following?
It's
The
supposed to
original.
be following the original
I
theatrical
thought they
anime.
weren't following the original. They were following the remake one that they did.
They did a remake.
Oh,
They
Are you
did
sure it
do-
wasn't part 2?
No, they did it. They did do
They
a
are
remake.
A remake that is
There's
a little
actually-
bit different story.
Which
There's
one
actually
was it?
three.
Standalone
There's
complex?
actually three.
There's actually like 5 movies of that, I think.
But there's 3 more recent movies.
Oh.
There's like remastered and 20th anniversary version.
No, but they made one that they changed a little bit.
Okay,
It's
but
not
it
like
wasn't like a
remastered.
huge change necessarily.
No.
The core of the movie is the same.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that again, there was a big backlash about Scarlett Johansson being casted for what is supposed to be an Asian character because she does have a Japanese name. And so obviously there was a
That was
huge
a whole
thing.
controversy
There was a huge
about it.
controversy about it because
The
the
whitewashing.
whitewashing. I mean,
Well, look, you take a look at the other side of the coin, and people like went crazy about there being a black Viking. What is it? Norse god in Thor,
Heimdall. Yeah, Heimdall.
right? Like,
With,
I mean, so
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I honestly don't have a problem with it either way. So I don't, to me, it doesn't make a difference.
to me, I just think that like it's more. I think it's if I were making a movie, I would want to make it like authentic, right? And so if it's for example like you're casting on Amazon or like you know what I really liked about what's the name of the movie, the Mel Gibson movie with the
Braveheart?
no with the
Apocalypto?
Apocalypto. It was all it was all like
But that was based on real life back in those days.
sure.
So now,
But I mean,
the
that's
issue
an
is-
example,
right? But
so
now-
like, what I'm saying is that like, if you're gonna tell a story that's set, in a certain place in a certain time where you're not gonna expect to see, where you're gonna expect to see a certain kind of people. I mean,
Well,
it actually brings to question like, why wouldn't you see those kind of people when you don't?
Well, I think that's what their argument is that,
Right.
or what the backlash was about, is that you expect Major Makoto Kusanagi to be a Japanese woman, and she's completely not. Now, the argument on the money side is that you want to have a recognizable name behind the movie, because then it's like, oh, it's a Scarlett Johansson movie. we gotta go
Yeah.
see the fucking movie. You know what I mean? Especially for people who don't know any better.
It's kind of like the point I was making about
You
Ryan
got
Gosling.
to draw a card in somehow, right?
I'm not disagreeing with that, but again, the argument is that should the character have been an Asian character based on the source material? I mean, I don't really have a problem with it either way, whether we're talking about that particular movie
But then again, hang
or
on.
Heimdall being Idris Elba.
Ghost in the Shell was Japanese anime, correct?
Right.
Yes.
So why didn't the Japanese do a real life action movie of Ghost in the Shell?
All right,
So they could bring in a Japanese actor into it, like you're saying.
Well, but again, we're talking about Hollywood.
Hollywood being
No, of course. But what I'm saying is the backlash was Hollywood's decision on it. You know what I mean? So
white Hollywood.
just to let you guys know that the battery died already.
Yeah, it wasn't working for a while.
Yes.
Oh, was it?
When I was trying to show the 50 cent weed thing, bucket of weed.
You can't keep it plugged in.
No. So, whatever lost in the video, this is just the audio. I think we have 2 hours and 90 minutes.
so that's a long.
That's probably
probably
pretty good.
Yeah, you could probably break that up into like 3 different podcasts.
No, it's not gonna be great. This is gonna be a whole thing, but,
Yeah. In the fridge.
I think
Do you think people will listen to it all the way through if it's 2 hours?
if they do, thank you very much. if they do, yes, like that. Please like us in
Lauren makes
whatever
I can have some.
Yeah, man.
stream
She just
or
made it, just
cast we're gonna put it on.
She's making Christmas cookies. She makes batches of Christmas cookies.
That's about it.
Are these for Christmas?
This is for a test
Okay.
run to see how big, or what are the requirements, or experience we get out of this, and let's see how it goes from here. And if you are tagging along in this weird journey that we're having, thank you. Anything else you guys want to say?
Peace out.
Just if you guys want to talk, if you guys want us to talk about something, we'll listen
Yeah, if
and
it's something
we'll
specific, I
consider
guess.
it, and maybe we'll really enjoy talking about it.
Yeah. We
Hate us or love us, give us some comments.
And it really
Yes.
could be anything. I mean, we
Yeah.
know a little bit about a little bit.
Or if you just hate one of us specifically, you just go ahead and tell me.
Yeah. And that's a wrap, guys. All right. Thank you.
Are we?
Bye.